Let's start the show. Let's go!
My God.
Hey everyone, I'm Jeff from inthirdperson.com. Personal look at video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. And we're playing D&D today. Woo!
Yep.
Years in the making. And so let's take a moment to introduce everyone. So I'll start with the top left, just above me on your screen. This is our DM today. It's Jason from downstab.com.
Hey. Good to be here.
To his right is Rachel from Double Jump.
Hello.
To her right is Kris from Double Jump.
Hello.
Going directly below Kris is Matt, or no, it's John. Oh my goodness.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, I know. Okay, so
Duplicate.
The layout. So for everyone in the stream, I'm looking at the Zoom call, not OBS, and the order is different between the two. So yes,
sure, Jet.
Yeah, that's called an excuse. You got to roll deception to see if that works.
On the bottom right, it's John, and bottom middle is Matt.
Hello. Hi, John.
Steph says, "Hey guys," and player 2 start spammed a bunch of air horn emotes.
Hi, Steph.
Exactly.
There it is.
It works well because I have an echoey room.
Yeah, it does kind of.
Yeah.
And you once followed an air horn.
Literally, it's why I bought this house, just to do that one air horn.
All right, so we're here finally. We've talked about doing this for like years now, and I can't believe we're actually here to play some D&D. So without further ado, Jason, go ahead, do your thing.
Oh man, so nervous. Okay, so first things first, I was on the team before. Ask any questions, like whatever you want. Since some people haven't played, totally fine. We'll stop and understand. It's kind of part of the fun is kind of making it work out. So what we want to do first, since we haven't met each other yet, why don't we introduce our characters? So I don't really care who starts, but actually I can lead it here. So I'm Jason, I'm the DM, so I'll be playing all of the non-characters that you guys aren't playing. But my first character sheet I pulled up is actually Rachel. So Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about your character?
My character is named Charlotte Hoff, and she is a human fighter, and she hates everybody, and she doesn't like anybody. She is a hired assassin, and she's killed many people, and she's pretty much motionless, and she's very buff.
Very yes.
Much like yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Now describe your character. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Next I have actually is Kris.
Hello, I'm Kris. I'm going to be playing Marla Tealeaf. She is a cleric halfling, and she's basically everyone's grandma. She's an old lady. She was a hermit, studied alone for many, many years, and she's out in the world now, and she's excited to learn everything. So yes.
I love it. That's great. I think it's the perfect pairing with Charlotte Hoff, the fighter, this old grandma. I love it. All right, so next we have John. Describe your character.
Yes, my character is Bob Baracus. That's B.A. Baracus. Come on, nobody.
I got you.
And he's sort of he's a ranger, like an outlander ranger. So he's sort of been on his own for a while. He's been foraging and sort of finding himself, if you will. And his main thing is that he was in fact raised by wolves when he was a child, and he hates the word moist because I also hate the word moist. And there's one thing about him though is that, and I don't know if this is going to be a detriment to the group or not, but no matter what, if there are mushrooms on the ground, I have to eat them. So we will see how that goes.
Are you a halfling?
I'm a half orc.
Half orc. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you got that from the hobbits and the mushrooms.
He's got those big tusk-like teeth to eat those mushrooms.
Yeah.
All right, my next character is Matt.
So my name is, so first of all, I'm a rogue, an elf rogue. My character's name is Knifey McStab. It's just a coincidence that I'm a rogue. That was actually my name. So yeah, basically my character is just kind of like, happy-go-lucky, looking for adventure, kind of chaotic good. Just, looking to do whatever comes along.
Excellent. Last but not least is Jet.
All right. I am playing an elf bard who goes by the name Elvish Presley. He is very much focused on his music.
My God.
Though he has gone through some recent trauma. He used to be in a duo with his now ex-wife. She has decided to go solo and has become very successful and happy in her new life. And I'm trying to prove that I can survive and be successful and happy on my own.
You can
Quality.
do it.
You can do
Yes.
it, buddy. We
I
stay
believe
away
in
from
you
those
too.
sandwiches.
Yeah, right. All that peanut butter could kill you.
Was your wife's name Priscilla?
Sure.
Okay.
It's canon now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the introductions. Welcome to the group. Welcome to D&D, guys. We're going to start off by giving a little bit of backstory for you guys here. So your group of adventurers, you actually all met before. You are currently traveling away from a kingdom called Dysteria. And this kingdom is a really large kingdom run by a nice and benevolent king named King Richard. You guys met at this tavern over there, just decided that we are a group of adventurers and we really want to stick together. You're all kind of strapped for cash and you realize that this kingdom isn't the right thing for you. It's not that it's a bad place, but you just want to kind of explore the world and see what adventure you can get as you're all young and thriving for something more. So as you are leaving this kingdom, you enter what is known as the town of Lincrest. Lincrest is several miles away from the outlying kingdom of Dysteria. It's settled on the outskirts of that larger kingdom, and it's a land of the people. It's typically made with farmland, mostly comprised of farmers and their kin, small families. The town serves as nothing more than a stopping point on the journey to something larger. Lots of small houses will scatter this massive orchards and expansive farmlands. As you guys are traveling from the kingdom of Dysteria, you notice that there's a house here and there. There are several people working on the farm. Chimneys are going off. It looks like a small, nice little quaint area. Rickety fences, homemade barns, worn-out equipment. Everywhere you look, you always see those things. Peace, quiet, and slow. Despite the quaintness, it is hard not to notice that the town is in a bit of disarray. Some of those fences and the houses have seen better days. For every healthy-looking apple tree and orchard, you see a few decaying ones that look like they haven't been kept up for in years. And though the path leading you through this town is made of dirt and gravel, it still somehow feels off. Something about it feels kind of strange, like you're walking on land that doesn't feel quite right. As you and the party have traveled a few acres through this farmland on the road, you actually come across a small cluster of buildings. These buildings are all close together, which is unlike any of those buildings you've seen before. And you think this might be a town center. As you decide to stop and take a break before you continue your journey, you've been traveling for several hours and you need to rest your legs. Away from your past and away from this forgetful town, you look forward to what adventure lies next. Directly in front of you, you see a small group of buildings. One of them is labeled the Iron Inn. It's the only building that actually has a label on it. And there are some people bustling around just doing this and that, nothing too crazy. You see the inn's doors are open if you'd like to proceed forward. There are also other houses that you could explore, tell people to talk to, whatever you guys choose to do here. But you decide that it's going to be a nice little break from your days of walking. So
Right.
you're at this town of Lincrest. There's an inn in front of you that you can see. There are houses to the sides. There's orchards all around. There's farmland too. There are a few people just walking around, kind of talking to one another. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You just have a little sense of a feeling that things seem a little off. You also have noticed that in some of the nice fine rows of farmland and trees that some of them have died. So at this point, you guys as players can decide what you want to do. You can talk it out. You can decide, I want to go here. My character wants to do this. I want to investigate further. If you're not sure what to do, you can ask each other. You can ask me. You can look at your character sheet and see like, well, what skills do I have? What can I kind of just perceive? But really, this is a story-driven game. So whatever you want to do, it just comes off, top of your head.
What time of day is it?
It's about midday. So you've probably been walking from Dysteria for 5 or 6 hours on this path. And then sun is still up, but it's going to be setting in a couple hours.
Okay.
Has anyone been here before? Any of you guys been to this town before?
No, I haven't.
Nope.
No.
The town has been here for a
thanks.
long time. You have noticed, or you do know that this town has existed for a while. It's not something new. And it's typically just considered a farming town from the outskirts of the actual kingdom.
Okay.
Charlotte goes over and starts plucking apples off of one of the trees.
Excellent. How many apples do you want to take?
I'll take 5.
5. All right.
One for each of us.
You can have 5 apples. The apples actually look quite exquisite. You would consider them to be very, very perfect looking apples. Yeah, so you can have some apples in your inventory if you'd like. All right, Elfish, what are you thinking about right now?
Let's talk to the people.
Okay. You can approach one of the farm hands that are kind of walking around the town. They're in this little small town center.
Yes.
He says, "Good day, traveler. How fare thee?"
I don't actually.
I'm actually going to join
Okay.
him in talking to the people.
Thank
Sure.
you.
How fare thee?
Marla will be right there. Oh, hello, dear. This town looks lovely. How are you doing? Fine day.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate the kind words. It's getting to be sunset soon. We'll be drawing our days in shortly. But thanks for stopping by. We hope you can enjoy your rest as you travel onward.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then,
So what is there to do around this town?
Unfortunately, not too much. And then he kind of laughs it off a little bit. We really just kind of only offer our inn for people to stay the night, such as you, if you need to go other places. Our town's leader, his name is Brian. He lives right next to the inn. If you want to speak with him, you can. But otherwise, we're really just here to serve the land and hopefully enjoy some apples. And she references the apples that you guys have picked. I hope you enjoy them. They're definitely delicious.
Okay, so I'm gonna say my character is gonna come up and sort of be straight to the point and say, I've noticed that your lands are sort of half and half. There's some that are thriving and some that are, obviously not doing very well. Is there some sort of, I don't know what the word is, virus, or if there's some sort of bacteria or something going on in the soil or problem with the agriculture or something at this time?
Oh, yes, you noticed that, did you? That it actually just sort of came up for us recently. We're not sure why. Some trees just started to die on us, and it was strange. Some places aren't affected as others, some are worse. But it's as long as we have some trees that are producing these fine apples, and he has one in his hand, our town has been doing fine. But I do appreciate your concern.
Can I
When did
roll
you start?
perception to see if anything
Yeah.
off?
Yeah, go ahead.
$21.
You roll perception or deception? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, perception.
Perception? Yeah, you get the feeling that this person, this man, is likely telling the truth. He doesn't have too much to hide, and you can clearly see that these trees are decaying. As you look at them, it does look like the healthy trees around them look totally fine. The decaying ones seem to have been decaying for a long, long time, so that does look odd to you. But from what you can tell from this man, he does seem to be telling the truth. And you do kind of see that. What was that?
Did he just say it was kind of a recent thing, even though
Yeah.
you just said it hasn't been decaying for a long time?
Yep, he said he said it happened rather recently, but from what it looks like these trees have been dead for a long time. And you kind of gather that this is probably a town center, so he also is telling the truth there that it is usually just a place for people to stop by and move onward. The man does say, like, if you do have more questions, feel free to talk to Brian. He is in the house over here. He points kind of to the side. And if you do need to rest your legs, I would recommend talking to Doug in the inn. He's here for you as well.
Doug at the end.
Okay. Thank you.
Elvish.
I think we should talk to Brian. So let's do that.
As you say that to the man notices, Jet, what does your character have in terms of instruments?
I've got, hold on.
I think one was a.
I do have the air horn.
God.
I've also got, wait, where's the button? I've got the auto tune as well.
As you approach the Brian's house, you're leaving it. The man says, "Oh, we have a performer in the midst. Maybe we'll get a show tonight." He seems excited by the notice of your instruments. Ooh.
Can we exchange a show for a night at the inn?
Oh, possible. I'd say Doug would appreciate that. We don't get too much entertainment around here. We have to travel into the city to see anything else. This could be an exciting night.
Let's talk to Brian. See if he wants us to play.
Okay. So you guys are going to walk away from this gentleman that you talked to. So if the inn is kind of in the center of this town, this walkway, Brian's house is actually north. The house doesn't appear to be too far away. It also doesn't appear to have any specific farmland or agricultural areas associated with it. So you get the feeling that it might be someone who's more so running this small town. But next to the house does sit a small set of vegetables, complete with a small, well-kept fence, even a little scarecrow. You think it's a bit excessive for the small land, but it does still create an image of a rather inviting home. Also, maybe a little bit of power, like this person is actually a nice official for this town. As you approach the home, you can see that inside there's actually a small single bed, there's a few chairs, table, tools for equipment to harvest the crops. Brian is actually inside his house. So you can see him kind of moving around. It is a little bit later in the day, so he's probably not going to be doing too much farming, but he is there. If you'd like to approach him and go inside the home, you can, or you can look around his house, or you can move elsewhere.
I think we should introduce ourselves before we snoop around his house.
We'll knock on the door first.
Go about this legit.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I'm going to go up and knock on the door. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, knock on the door. Brian gets up, notices you out the window, and comes and opens the door. It says, "Oh, hello, my friends. Welcome to Lindcrest. Glad that you have found your way to our humble little area. What can I help you out with today?"
We were just passing through on our way, looking for adventure. But we were speaking with one of your townsfolk, and we noticed as we were passing through that some of your crops and trees are in rough shape, and some of them rather close to those are not. And we were just wondering if there was anything maybe we could help out with, or if you knew anything more about it.
Yes, I appreciate that. We could possibly use some investigation here. Please come on inside. And he beckons you into his home if you'd like to go in. Inside the home, it does look nice. Everything looks well kept. There's tables and chairs.
I'm in.
Marla goes right in.
Okay.
While they're talking, can Charlotte looks for something to steal
Sure. Are you stealing outside, or are you stealing something inside?
inside?
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
How do you do a sleight of hand? Where's that?
Oh, it's on your sheet. It's like down here.
Yeah, it should be
no.
a dexterity modifier.
It's a dex save, and then if you're proficient.
12.
Okay. As you guys all walk in, Charlotte kind of hides in the back in the middle so no one's quite looking. She notices on the table that there are some papers there. So she tries to reach over, grabs one of the papers, and notices it's actually just a small bill from the innkeeper. His name was Doug. Looks like he's just tallying up the amount of travelers who have come to his town.
I take it anyway.
Take it, pocket it. Totally fine. So as you do walk into, you all kind of notice that everything looks really nice and peaceful in this house, which is really nice and inviting. You do notice something that does take a little bit of a different note for you. In the corner of his home, there is a really nice looking set of a large axe and a large shield. The axe
You
and the
stole
shield,
the paper.
She stole the paper, but she's not going to walk out with a freaking axe.
Yeah.
So there's the large axe and shield. It looks a little bit out of place, just because this town doesn't really need defending, it seems. But the axe and shield does have a emblazoned with like a lion, which you know is the symbol of King Richard in Disteria. So you assume that he may have some connection to that kingdom. He beckons you to sit down. He says, "Please sit. We can discuss our little problem with our trees."
Marla wants tea. Do we get tea?
Sure. I have a plethora of tea for my fine guests. Would you prefer black, green, oolong?
Oh, green tea sounds lovely. Thank you, young man.
Excellent. He gets up and puts a pot of water on, so it's going to be boiling in the background. So he comes back, Brian comes back, sits down on the table and says, "Thank you for stopping by. We do get plenty of adventurers that do roam these lands of Lindcrest. It is rather unfortunate that some of our trees have passed away, and sorry that you noticed that. We do pride ourselves on our great orchards and our supply to the kingdom, so we hope to get that fixed rather quickly." He seems to be looking at you with jovial smiles, like a happy guy. What else can I help you with here? Do you have other questions? Did you perhaps stay the night?
Well, you mentioned earlier. Sorry, you mentioned earlier that you could potentially use help with your problem. What exact kind of help were you looking for?
Oh, yes. So this all came up rather, he kind of pauses and says, rather suddenly, but it seems that some of our trees have started dying. We do fear that it might be spreading to other parts of our trees, and these trees are a valuable resource for our orchards and farmland. If we would lose them, we would certainly lose this town and all the people that do live here. We certainly don't want that to happen. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure of where this may be coming from. I did happen to notice that some of the trees that started to decay first seem to be coming from the south. If anything, I would say we just need to investigate there, but unfortunately, he references back to his axe and shield. fighting days are behind me. I would go on my own, but I fear that it can't leave this town by itself without its protector.
Who was the protector before? Was it you or?
Excellent question. Actually, there was nobody here before. When I came to this town, they didn't have anybody that was here to help them. The town was in disarray, and I decided to lend myself to help out. I just needed something to do after leaving the kingdom due to my injuries.
How long have you been here?
I'm sorry, you guys both kind of cut into each other. What was that?
But
They just asked if he took an arrow to the knee.
Oh, for copyright reasons, no, he did not.
How long have you been here in this town?
Brian has been here for about 5-ish years, so it hasn't been too long, but long enough to establish himself as a sort of figure presence here.
When did you notice the trees start decaying?
Oh, that happened rather recently. I would say maybe within the past week or two. We did notice that a few of them were at the south, but near one of our residents' homes. Her name is Neve. Below her house, some of the trees started to decay. We didn't think anything of it, as unfortunately we've had this issue before, but it had resolved previously. And then they happened again, and we haven't investigated since, just hoping that our prayers to our gods and deities will make this small little issue be taken care of.
Did you do something last time to stop it from happening, or did it just naturally stop by itself?
Yes, that was quite strange. It did naturally stop by itself. We were experiencing some similar issues with these trees dying. Everyone was fearful for what might happen. Everyone prayed and prayed and prayed. And then one day it did magically just kind of go away. We were hoping that our prayers were answered, but perhaps we were misguided.
Does Neve still live in the town?
Yes, Neve still does live in the town. She's actually one of our only elven figureheads that lives here. She's rather new and rather young for us as well, but she is still here. You'll find her house to the south of the inn.
A fellow elf. Maybe we'll have a chat.
I would be hesitant to chat with her directly. She seems to be caught up in her work. But yes, she would probably prefer to speak to an elf.
So I'm just going to come in because it's bugging me, and I have to ask this question because the person that we spoke to outside had mentioned that, again, this was a more recent issue, but these trees look like they've been decaying for much longer than a week or two. So just curious as to, is it a more rapid process, or how has it happened?
Yeah, we are not sure. It does appear to be the same thing. When we investigated the trees itself and even the fruit that they bared, even days before were quite nice and ripe, now have been decaying as if they've been gone for years and years, the entire life sucked out of them. We are not sure. We would appreciate more investigation into this, but like I said, I can't really go, and unfortunately the kingdom hasn't been sending anybody down here, but perhaps you are our answers, or you are perhaps the answer to our prayers.
Have you tried reaching out to the kingdom for help?
Oh, yes, quite often. He actually gets up and reaches over to the table that the note was stolen from before. And he says, I've actually given quite a lot of thought to this. I've sent many letters to the king himself. I used to be in his court, so I figured that he would help and assist us here, but so far, no responses. So he reaches over and he pulls up some things and he shows you on the table that he has sent out letters that have come back with just no responses on them at all, like a return to sender, if you will. So how about you all everyone give me a perception check.
How do I do that?
So you're going to grab a d20 and then look on your character sheet and see under perception if you have a plus there. It's usually your wisdom modifier, and then it might be a little bit higher than that, but roll your d20, add that number in, and let me know what you guys got.
All right.
14.
7.
Marla also got a 14.
John, Jet?
10.
Oh no, we lost John.
Oh no.
Oh no!
It's okay. He'll pop back up.
He'll come back
but
up.
it might break the whole order of everything.
It's weird that he's like a little half box in both.
You know what? We're twins in real life, so let's just say he got 14.
Yes.
It's totally fine. Let me get back to where I was. Okay, so those of you that got 14s, you notice that one of the letters actually that he lays out, they're all kind of not written back on, but one of them actually is. And you can see it's one of the scrolls directly from the king. Part of it reads, you can't read the rest of it, but it says, "I trust we won't have to use more persuasive messages to get your attention." So that note, you can see it sitting there on the table. As you see
Marla
that,
points directly to it and is like, "What is that? What is that about?"
Yeah, as you read it quickly, Brian does tend to stuff a little away, like, oh, that, you don't need to worry about that. That's something else I'm taking care of with the king.
Brian, I mean, if you want our help, I think you need to be as honest as you can with us. If there's something preventing us from helping you, we would need to know.
Or, if something's dangerous that...
Or dangerous.
Perhaps this is the right cause. We do fear that something, maybe not this worldly, is affecting our life here. I reached out to the king for help, as I know he has a magical court that can maybe investigate here, but I fear that he is not going to be helping us. His persuasive method he's speaking of is our delivery of goods to the kingdom. He is afraid that our lack of trees and our lack of goods will result in the kingdom failing in a sense. He wants me to make sure we resolve this problem, but is not offering help. If I would ask anything of you strange travelers, yeah, I know. I would ask if you are okay with investigating this to help this town. I know you have no connection to us, but this would be much greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, the only thing I know of is that there are trees decaying, and that's it. What would be in it for you? Oh, well, my undying gratitude. You will have absolutely saved the life of this town. I'm sure that the town folks can make a general donation to you and your cause. Where do you see yourselves going from here? Maybe we can work together to get you to where you want to go.
I want money.
Oh, John's back. Good.
Yes, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Happened.
I'm typically not on my Zoom call. I'm looking at my notes. Money is something that we can try to work for. I'm sure King Richard would also be appreciative of the group of fellow adventurers who saved his kingdom from having no more apple pies and no more apple ciders to enjoy.
No more apple cider. Oh,
I love apple cider.
It's delicious.
Food is a worthy cause.
It is. Brian gets up too, and he goes over to near his the sword or the axe and shield in the corner. Oh my God, what is this? I have an ad popped up. Hang on.
oh no.
Okay. He goes over to the corner with the axe and shield, and he grabs a small little satchel that's over there, maybe like a waist little pouch. He brings it to the table and says, I don't have much, but if you do come back with a job well done, you can have as much of my reserve money as I have. And he rolls out 15 gold pieces, fall out of that bag. And he says, please take these now. They are all yours. If you can successfully help this town, then there'll be much more to come.
Brian, I'm always up for a good adventure. I'm on board. Let's figure this out.
Marla divides the money up between everybody. Here, one for you, one for you.
Five for me. Yeah.
No, that's not Marla. Marla will make sure everyone gets it.
Oh, okay, good. So as you take the money, and it seems like you're agreeing to his call to action, you do notice that he smiles and seems quite happy. Thank you so much. We will greatly appreciate your efforts and endeavors here. Please, if you need anything else, let me know. I implore you to talk to the rest of the town if you like. Otherwise, just start with investigating some of these trees. He does motion outside his window and says there's some of these trees are right outside here, and then there are some that are close if you want to go investigate. But that's where he leaves you.
Elfish, how about you and I go speak with Neve, because we're elves, and she seems to be a little more friendly towards us.
All
and
right.
maybe you guys want to go investigate the trees. If that makes
Sure.
sense.
Marla's down for going to investigate some trees. Thank you very much for the tea. It was delightful.
Cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot.
thank you
to
very much.
serve you. He is quite pleased. Excellent. Okay, great. So let's.
Brian, actually, before we go,
Yes, my friend.
is there anything that we should know about Neve? You sounded a little bit hesitant to tell us about her earlier.
Neve, she's quite young. I feel like I was there to help her when she was in trouble. Basically, Neve is a sort of magician, if you will. She was trusted in the king's court, but something sad happened. If she determines to tell you, I would ask her, but just be aware that she may be sensitive to that topic.
Okay. Thanks.
She'll be fine. Just be the gentleman I know you can be, and you'll be okay.
Oh,
I'll do my best.
Everyone dies. No.
Yeah, knifey. Be a gentleman.
Marla's the cleric. She'll be fine.
That's funny. Okay. Do you want to ask anything else for Brian while you have his attention?
Oh, good. Thank you for your hospitality.
Much appreciated. You are quite welcome. Oh God, these things keep popping up. Okay. So we're okay with John or Matt and Jet, I think, going over to Neve's house, and then the rest doing something else.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Charlotte leaves the house and she just goes back towards the trees and starts picking more apples, muttering under her breath about how much money that they didn't get.
It wasn't a lot for all things considered. Okay, so as the two of you head over to Neve's house, it is quite a ways away, so you're going to be walking for several minutes. So let's deal with our other group first. That's investigating these trees. So as you walk outside of Brian's home, so this is going to be for Kris, Rachel, and John. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. So the three of you guys are outside Brian's home. Everything looks well kept, but there is a few of these dead trees. Again, Brian doesn't have any farmland here, but as you go to the next little farm plot over, you do see some of them. As you investigate, you do notice that the trees are rather crumpled and gross, if you will. So the trees have a sort of a decay to them. There's no fruit that are bearing on them. As you get closer, you do kind of get the sense of something cold is there, like there's no life in that tree. And as you sort of yeah, it does. As you sort of touch and investigate, you just feel like this tree has been gone for a long time. So it doesn't quite make sense that they say that they were just gone a couple weeks ago.
Can we roll any checks, like a nature check or?
Yes, absolutely. You can do a nature check.
15?
I got
15?
a 21.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
John, do you want to roll nature for me too? Yeah.
How do I do that?
Roll your d20, and then on the left side of your page, you have a little box for nature. That's usually going to be related to your intelligence modifier. So roll your d20 and add that modifier to your roll to see what you get.
So I don't have a nature modifier, so just whatever the roll is.
So roll the d20, and then if you have an intelligence bonus, you would add that to it. You might not have anything. It might even be negative. It just depends what you have.
It's 0, yeah. So 16.
Oh, nice, not bad. So as you all are investigating this tree, you do notice that as you touch the tree, it does feel cold. So something about the tree is unnaturally cold, not just like even though it's been in the sun, it still feels rather cold. And that's not something natural for a tree to do. So that's kind of setting you off a little bit that something is amiss.
So just so I'm clear, I know the rules of this mean because technically Jet and I are not with these three. I'm taking notes, but I can't take notes on this because I'm not there listening to it, right?
In theory, yeah. Lots of times in the way people play D&D, they'll say like, I tell that to the team, like when we get there.
Okay.
It just depends, but I would say technically right now you do not know that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the tree feels kind of weirdly cold. Do you guys want to do anything else? Any other checks you're looking at doing?
Charlotte smirks and says, the tree is so cold it feels almost like it's moist.
It is a little moist, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kristen laughs in the background.
Babaracus just glares at her out the side of his eye as she walks by, and he can hear her just muttering, "Moist, moist, moist, moist." As she walks by.
As BA touches it, he gets a little bit of moisture on his hand and is quite offended.
Oh yes.
Okay, so you've investigated the moist trees. All right, as you guys are touching trees, the other two are heading over to Neve's house. So she's a few minutes walk south of the inn and Brian's home. And as you get closer, you can see that she does have an orchard on the south side of town. So it is stretching pretty far back as far as you can really see. Also, Neve's house specifically is in quite a disarray. The wooden fence is broken. There's small holes in the corner of her roof, cracks in the walls of her brick home. The list goes on. The rows and rows of trees behind her house are clumped together. So there are like small groups of apple trees, pear trees dotting the land. They're not really like in straight rows. It's like someone just threw seeds and like spread them there. You also notice some of the trees are also decaying, and more of the trees seem to be coming from the further south that you go. You do see more clusters of them as you go south. You do see movement inside of the small home, and there is smoke from the chimney, alerting you to her presence inside. As you do approach her home, you can see her sitting at the table. She seems to be scribbling something down. She looks like a young female elf. She doesn't notice you that are there. So if you want to talk to her, you can. If you'd like to look around her home more, you can. She hasn't been seen. She hasn't seen you just yet. Okay. Elfish, knifey. What are you feeling?
Let's take a quick look around the house before we go in.
Yeah, can we maybe roll perception to see if we notice anything off or anything weird?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and roll your perception checks. Let me know what you guys get.
Oh, wow. 19.
Nice.
20.
Yes.
Ooh, a
Game
nat
over.
20.
We noticed the problem and we're out.
Yep.
Yep, you guys have solved world hunger. Yeah, so as you approach the house, you kind of stealthily kind of move past it so that she hasn't noticed you. You definitely see that there are trees that are decaying more as you go south. It does seem like there's a pattern to them, like they're sort of encroaching upward. But as you investigate the trees, you also see similar things. You feel that it is cold as well, so you have the same information. It does seem kind of interesting that a tree that was apparently bearing fruit a few weeks ago is now completely dead. Doesn't seem supernatural. And then you just notice that more of them are coming upwards to you, if you will, from the south, like it's encroaching this direction.
So the trees are dying, but they're dying past her house to the south?
Sorry, not quite. So like if this is her house here and like here is down south, it's like the trees are here and it seems like they're approaching upwards to her.
Oh, I see.
But they haven't gotten there yet. Regardless, as you walked through the town, you did see sporadic trees all over that were kind of decaying and dying, but it seems like there's a more of a cluster in that direction.
I see. So the trees are decaying towards her house, not away from her house. Like
Right.
Okay, got it.
So it's yeah, it's coming from the south, but it's going like north.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So as you're investigating the house, Neve is still inside. You do hear some soft muttering too, like she is writing and speaking something.
Seriously.
You recall Brian told you that she was a magician of sorts, so there's that information. What are you feeling? What are you buying?
Well, Elfish,
Wanna
we've
go
been told she's a
inside?
little standoffish, so I don't know what you think, how you think we should approach her.
I'd say we knock on the door, and if it gets weird, maybe I can try and sing a song to ease her tension.
Yeah, that won't make it weirder.
It's like one of those singing telegrams.
Yeah.
Hold your tongue. Elfish is a great musician.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't heard him perform yet. Maybe he should do a practice performance for us to see how it
Oh,
goes.
I've heard him. We've been traveling in the same pack for a while.
Elves stick together. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you knocking on her door? What did you want to do?
Yeah, let's go knock on her door.
Yeah. We'll knock.
Okay, you knock on her door. So the door, as you knock on it, it actually slightly opens. She gives no response to you, but the door is open. As you look in, you see that she has looked up to acknowledge you and just kind of scoffs and then looks back down at her page, continues writing. She has books all strewn across her table as well. Inside the home, it is in also a disarray, as much as you would think her home would be from the outside presence. She has very minimal furniture. It looks like there's just one bed, one table, one chair. Other things are on the ground, dirt's everywhere. You even notice some bugs and kind of rats running around as well.
Rats. Oh, gross.
Rats are the best.
They are.
Yeah.
I enjoy rats.
Do you want to walk inside? Do you want to approach her? Do you want to leave?
Rats
Do you wanna
remind
look
me
at
of
your
that.
sheet and think of any checks you might want to try.
Can we do another perception check now that we're seeing the inside of her house to see if there's anything out of the ordinary?
Yeah, totally. In general, too, just for D&D, you can do a check whenever you want. Even if you're like in her home and you're like, I want to do an athletics check to like check something out, like we'll make it work. So just whatever you feel like you want to do.
Why would I do an athletics check in her home? Just out of
Well, I mean,
curiosity.
that's
You want to jump
That's
and
what
grab
you gotta
something.
tell me. Yeah, if you're like,
Oh, I see.
wanna
So, like, if I wanted to
jump
run
up
in the
to her
house and,
see
like,
if
do a
anything
cartwheel
hidden on
over her
top, like,
table.
rafter.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then, like typically if you're good at something, like let's say it's athletics and you're like, I haven't really used it just yet, you let me know, like, hey, how can I use this here? And we can definitely make it work. Alternatively, if you're like, I want to run and do a cartwheel, absolutely we can make that work too. So whatever you want to do.
Interesting.
Yes. Perception check is fine. If you want to do that, go ahead and roll it and let me know what you got.
Go for it, Matt.
Oh.
Excellent. Oh,
That's a solid 6.
Okay.
excellent.
Here we go. Perception. Oh God. 5.
Oh
Wow.
boy! And you two went by yourself.
You're all just very focused on her writing at the table. So you've noticed the other disarray of things there, but nothing else stands out as super odd to you. She does kind of say in a let me see here. She does kind of say in a very slow, quiet tone. If you're just gonna stand there all day, you might as well leave. Just come in.
All right.
Okay. says do you want to go in?
Yeah, let's go in.
Yeah, we'll go in.
We got this.
Okay. See, Jet, you're a bard, and then John, you're a rogue, right?
No,
I'm a rogue, yeah.
Okay. So as you go into her home, it doesn't feel all that inviting. There's not too much to do for you. You do notice that the books that she's writing, or in the notes she's writing, are all in Elvish. So you can actually read that. I believe you're both elves. That works out. So she is actually writing from books of magic in the different schools of magic. Specifically, the one that she is writing now looks like it says the school of conjuration. So it's conjuration magic she's writing. And it seems to be that she is writing numbers and letters associated with those numbers, likely that she is trying to figure out a different spell. But that's all she's doing. She's muttering in Elvish too as she is writing, just kind of nonsense.
Yeah, what can
I'm just going to tell her straight out. It's nice to see a fellow elf. We've been traveling for
there
a
we
while.
go.
And it's nice to see a fellow elf.
And she says in her slow voice, I agree. Humans and their filthy magics, they don't know what they're doing. She kind of laughs a little bit too. She feels welcomed by your presence of another elf.
What issues do you have with humans?
Her slight smile goes into a frown. Humans don't know the elven ways, and humans tend to jump to conclusions, not know what they're doing. Humans are the reason why I am here at this location and not where I should be.
Where should you be?
She looks up at her from her paper. She puts her quill down and looks at you and says, in the kingdom, of course, practicing, learning more, becoming stronger.
You clearly
continues to
a
write.
bunch. Yeah, I was going to say, you clearly know a lot, judging by all the books and all your writings. What is it you're working on?
I am still so young and unlearned in these magics. There are hundreds and thousands of years of magics to get through. I need to know how to fix my mistakes. I need to know how to make things better.
What
Fix your
did
mistakes.
you
Go ahead and give me a check. Give me a what would be easy here? How about an intimidation?
Investigation?
Yeah, you can do investigation too. That could be good. Do an investigate or intimidate, whatever is higher for you two.
Well, I don't have
neither
a
of those.
modifier for either.
Okay,
Yeah.
then just give me a check then. Just roll.
I have persuasion.
That works. Yeah, let's do persuasion
Go
then.
for it.
Let's do persuasion. Oh, there we go. 17.
And I got 5.
Do you have
Yeah, why don't
-2?
you wait outside? I mean,
It's okay.
elfish.
So as you both approach her as she says that statement, you kind of both nudge her along with, hey, we're all elves here. Like, why don't we help each other out? And so she looks up at you for a minute and says, fine, if you must know. So she gives you a long story detail that she used to work in King Richard's court. It's the court of Dysteria. She was one of their magicians that worked there. The king's daughter, her name is Margaret, typically goes by Maggie, was out on a mission. Maggie was shot with an arrow into her abdomen, so she was bleeding out. Richard called upon Neve, the young magician in her court, to cure her. The magic needed to perform the spell of healing was beyond her skills at this point. So when she completed her spell on Maggie to cure her, she actually completely disfigured Maggie. She is crippled from the waist down, and she cannot move the left side of her body. The king said that he was so furious with Neve and her ineptitude with magics that he banished her from this kingdom. Fortunately, on her way out of town, she ran into Lincrest and saw Brian, and Brian saw potential in her and asked her to stay in town and please continue to research her magic. So she is saying that she is trying to learn how to help King Richard and hopefully get her place back in her kingdom.
Interesting.
We're going to take a pause for a minute. So the other group that's investigating the trees, what else are you guys doing at this time?
I'm
kinda just
trying
wanna cut it down.
Killing each other, but
Yeah,
An apple.
Charlotte's getting on my nerves.
children, no fighting.
Remember, there are other homes here that you have investigated. If you want to continue down to Neves, you can as well. Whatever you want to do. If you want to start killing people, if you really want to, you can do that too, I guess.
We're not gonna kill people.
I'm just giving you ideas here, you know?
Marla
If Charlotte
says
says
no.
moist again, I might.
Moist.
All right, Marla's ignoring them. She's gonna go down the path and see the next house or the next person, and greet them with a very cheery hello.
Okay.
Charlotte follows,
yeah, we're
assuming-
As
with
you
her.
guys, as you guys have been investigating those trees, you notice as you're kind of done and turning around that there's a rather elderly man, a human male, sitting outside of the inn. He appears to be looking right at you and says, just kind of waves his hand. It's a little too far away to talk to him, but he is the closest person if you like to approach him.
Charlotte goes over to him and says, "What are you looking at?"
Friends, I didn't mean any trouble. I noticed that you are looking at our trees. This old human is talking to you in front of the inn. We don't typically get too many travelers around here. I see you're already talking to our friend Brian. What did he tell you?
Why do you
Marla goes over and says, "Oh, it's no trouble, dear. It's fine."
Another kind soul such as myself. I appreciate your patronage.
Marla takes a seat next to him. "So how are you doing?"
It's funny. I did imagine him kind of sitting on a front porch style.
Yes, he did.
Excellent, my dear. Thank you for asking. What travels bring you here? What wearies and concerns your soul?
Oh, the road just brought us here. We were just following the path along the way. We saw some very lovely apple trees and some very not so lovely apple trees. Do you have any idea what made them decay?
The tragedy. No, fortunately I don't. I've lived long enough in Lindcrest to see this tragedy happen twice. Last time it did just kind of go away, but at what cost, I don't know. He appears to be rather distraught about talking about this subject.
Oh. Can Marla ask, how did it go away? Did trees just stop decaying, or did decayed trees kind of come back to life?
Yes, it was actually quite a miracle. The trees that were once haunting us suddenly bloomed again. There was like they were totally new trees. They came back to life, instantly started bearing the fruit that we had once lost, and we've prospered ever since. But now I fear, as Brian has said before to you, I'm sure that our tragedy is coming back up. Maybe our sins are catching up to us. I keep getting these pop-ups.
I thought that was the old man for a second. I'm like,
no. He's a pretty docile man, so you kind of get the feeling that he has not too much to hide here. Looks very old in his age, hard to get around, but he does seem to have been here for a long time. Probably the oldest person you've seen so far in town.
Have there been any new residents that came in or left around the same time that happened with the trees decaying, or anything unusual about the town other than the trees decaying that you noticed?
Yes, the only person I've seen recently that came into town was Neve, who lives in the south side of town. Around the time that this decaying started to end, thankfully, was from the guidance with Brian. He seemed to be someone that was here that helped us out. And then lastly was, I don't know if I want to tell this story.
Uh-oh.
And he kind of looks to the side and kind of trails off.
Can I roll persuasion for him to tell the story?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
12?
It's funny. No, I cannot tell you the story, but perhaps it would be wisest to know. I would implore you to talk to one of our residents. His name is Hank. He lives over here, and he kind of points to like the east side of town. Please, I don't want to relive this. If you want to talk to him, do so if you wish.
We on a wild goose chase?
No, I mean nothing of it. It's just he seems to be very sad and
Marla pats his
on the verge
arm.
of tears.
He's like, they're there.
Charlotte
It's okay, dear.
rolls her eyes.
BA sort of steps in front of Charlotte on their way away so that he doesn't start stealing things from him. Just to
Excellent.
And they continue, I guess, to Hank's house. Or are we going towards Hank's?
Sure.
Sure. Marla thanks the elderly man, pats his arm.
Yes.
You're very brave. Thank you very much for telling us.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Please, if you do need anything else, don't bother or don't hesitate to stay the night. I will be happy to. I'll be happy to. And then he kind of trails off again and just leaves it at that.
Okay.
You wanted to look. You wanted to look at Hank's house. You said.
Yeah, let's go to Hank's house.
Yeah, let's go see Hank.
Okay.
All right. This group is going to be traveling over to Hank's home as well. We'll pivot back to the other group as well. So after hearing your story of Neve and her issue that she had with the kingdom, She does seem to be a little bit distraught with having to retell that story, but seems to be almost more invigorated with her studies now. She almost ignores you as she continues writing in her journals and books.
Can I sing her a song to further inspire her to pursue and improve her magic?
Sure.
But you have to sing it.
I know you're actually going
I
to
have the
serenade.
button here. This is what this is. It all came down to this.
Okay. Yes, you can perform. I think that's
Okay.
fine. I think that's actually a skill that you have.
All right. Do I have to roll the dice or anything, or do I do that?
Yes.
Okay.
You can roll the dice and then you can perform.
The D20.
D20 and then add your performance modifier there. It's usually your charisma, and then if you're skilled in performance,
Okay.
which you probably are.
Yes, I got. Oh man, that's like 14 modifier right there. So
He is actually Elvis Presley.
yeah, dice is a 6, charisma modifier
That one or the
6,
skinny one?
12, 20,
Dang, what's your modifier?
8. Well, performance
Jesus.
modifier 8, charisma modifier 6.
Oh, you don't add them both. So
Oh.
you're just gonna add your performance modifier.
Okay, 14.
That's still pretty good. Okay, what are you playing? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm gonna do some auto tune in this particular performance.
Please enlighten us with your auto-tune performance.
Neve, I know that the magic thing is working out really hard, and it's really unfortunate that you disfigured that girl. But on the bright side, she's alive, and it's a step up from not being alive at all. So I encourage you to continue with your magic training, and one day you will be the next Harry Potter.
Wow.
Unrelated to the campaign, that was the most amazing thing I have seen.
Wow.
It actually sounded like a song. Go auto-tune.
Yeah.
Neve is fascinated by this form of witchcraft you use to change your voice right in front of her. She looks up and says, "Wow, such impressive magics. Maybe I could learn from you. I think possibly you're right. Maybe what I did wasn't so bad." She seems to be kind of turning in your favor. Were you trying to ask her anything too, or are you just trying to encourage her?
I was just trying to encourage her, but maybe Knifey McStab can
I'll ask her.
take. Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
So, Neve, we noticed as we were walking through that we saw some of the trees were decaying and dying, and the pattern seems to be approaching the outside of your house. Do you know anything about it or anything like that? We also noticed through a conversation with one of the townspeople that they had this problem before, but the problem sort of resolved itself when you came to town. So I was just wondering if it was a coincidence or if you knew anything about what was happening.
Yes, I've noticed too. She talks in her slow voice. South of town, I investigated, thought perhaps there could be some sort of magic that could help my study. Something was there. I didn't want to investigate further. I got too afraid. She closes her books and looks at you. If you do decide to go there, please practice caution. I do fear that whatever is causing this disease, I have not figured it out on my own. I could not stop it. And if I can't stop it, I don't know who can. She seems to be concerned, but she's looking at you now, paying attention.
But it did go away last time. Was there something you did that maybe slowed it down?
When I arrived in town last time, the trees were already nice and healthy. I didn't notice any bad trees. But these trees now, when they started happening, I went over, I tried to study them. I looked at the magic. Something was bad. Something was killing them. Something was sucking out their life. I fear that it is a danger to myself and to this town, but I am too focused on my studies to know what else to do here. She does seem to be rather concerned, and she does seem to be looking out the south side of her window towards the decay. Please, if you do investigate, I just would say to another elf, from an elf to an elf, practice caution.
Where should we start looking?
She says, "Oh, excellent question. Please follow me." She gets up and starts to walk out of her home. Do you want to follow her?
We'll
Yeah.
follow her.
Okay. Jet, you want to follow her too?
Yes.
Okay. So you walk out of her home, and she walks maybe 15, 30 yards into her little orchard, which again is thriving, looks really well. You do see a couple trees in front of you, rather close, that are also decaying. She says, "These trees, there's magic about here, evil magic." She looks at them and says, "I watch these trees before my eyes wither and decay instantly. I was looking at them suddenly from the ground up. All the soul and life of that tree was escaped. I fear that there's some sort of magic that is taking the life of these creatures. Yes, and she kind of beckons to the south. I see the land in the distance is getting ever closer. I do fear that whatever is causing this magic is going to be upon our doorstep before too long.
Well, I think we should investigate, but I think we need to get the group back together.
Yeah, I was about to say we should get the band back together.
You're the band, aren't you?
I'm always the band.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, great. Let's pivot on over then. So as the other group leaves Doug and the inn that he was outside, you travel close to the inn was Brian's house, and then close to that is also actually Hank's house. He sits on the eastern side of that inn. Hank does have a large plot of land. He has vegetables as far as you can see in fields, some of them planted, some of them harvested, some of them ready to be picked at a moment's notice. There are a few trees here. He doesn't have too much of an orchard, if you will. But despite this, some of his land is still cold and dark looking. So even though there are not trees on the ground, you see some patches of his vegetables have also started to decay. Hank's house specifically is a single-story home with smoke emitting from the chimney. There's a worn-down fence wraps around most of the property, and the disheveled Hank is actually sitting on his front doorsteps. He looks like an older human male. His face is rather grizzled. You feel like he's maybe seen a lot of tragedy in his time. He's full of patchy white hair and a long, scraggly beard. Much like Doug, who you just met at the inn, Hank also has a lot of longing in his eyes. You appear to see some sadness. With his prime years typically behind him, Hank appears saddened even in your presence of these new, young, healthy adventurers. So as you approach Hank, he does see you. He's just kind of sitting there, looking sad.
Marla
Wait,
waves.
Kristen, Marla. That's your name, is Marla, right?
Marla.
Marla. Got it. Okay, good.
Okay. Marla waves at Hank. Hank looks up, but doesn't seem to respond. He's noticed you, but he doesn't wave back.
Can I ask Hank a question, extremely in a forward manner?
Sure.
Hank, how old are you?
Oh wait, are you guys all getting back together? Are we assuming that?
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna ask, are we back together?
That's fine.
Oh, are we back together? Sorry, I didn't know if we were.
Yeah.
Well,
After you guys
Marla
talk,
waves you guys too.
after you guys talk to Eve, you can head back to the inn, and you notice that the group is actually heading over to this person's house. So you kind of meet in the middle, and you like high five and stuff, and then you guys do that. So you asked, how old is he?
Yeah.
I don't actually know how old he is. Let me see.
Oh, okay. Never mind. If it's not like a plot point, I don't care.
No, this is it. Actually, it kind of makes sense. He is going to be 63 years old.
Okay. The reason I asked was because I was wondering if the disease is not only affecting the plants, but maybe it's affecting the people as well. But never mind.
That's a great thing. Do you want to investigate that further? You can maybe try to. Why don't you give me do an investigation check on Hank as he was waving and trying to talk to Marla. You can try to get some extra insight.
Wow, that's a 19.
19. As far as you can tell, it looks like Hank has no battle scars on him. He hasn't really gotten into any fights. You don't see any wounds, things like that. It looks like he appears to just be old. In terms of what may be affecting him, unfortunately, you can't, feel his insides, so you're not sure if he's sick, but it's likely that he is just old.
Okay.
Okay, so he didn't wave back to Marla, and Knifey McStab looked at him intently. So what else are we thinking we want to do with Hank?
Charlotte is like.
We're going to tell the group what we learned from Neve first.
Okay. You can pass along. Do you want to pass along all the information, or do you want to withhold anything?
No, well, we're not going to go into detail about what happened at the kingdom, but we'll just say she had an event.
Okay.
It's elvish honor here. We're going to keep some of it a secret.
I like it.
Marla
Okay.
will relay what we've learned from Doug to everybody.
Good job, team. Okay, we can say that you guys had a little powwow before you went over to Hank, so you all know these
Sorry,
things.
Rachel, I interrupted you.
Nope, you're fine.
All right, then Hank is still sitting there, and he says, "Please, just leave me be."
Okay.
You walk away.
Charlotte starts looking around the land to see if she can find anything to take.
Okay. As you look around Hank's land, you do see that there are vegetables on the ground that you can pull out and take if you want. There's a small barn to the side. It looks like it's typically just there with a small little carriage. Nothing too crazy. But if you want to investigate further, you certainly can.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, go ahead and give me a nature check.
Nature. 22.
I'm sorry, what was it?
22.
Excellent. So as you investigate some of the decaying fields, you feel the same coldness from the area. Again, it looks like these plants have shriveled up and died. You almost feel as if nothing will live on this land again. As you investigate the nicer plants, they do seem to be pristine, amazing. You grab a head of, let's say, cabbage. The cabbage looks great, healthy. You can pocket it if you want. You feel like everything else there looks wonderful. It does seem kind of a strange dichotomy between the two things. Doesn't seem quite right. You also get the feeling that maybe with the information you learned from the other group about Neve and this possible magic, that these are likely connected. Hank looks at you two and says, "Again, I don't want to be a burden to anyone else. Please, just let me be."
I heard you. I am letting you be. I'm not talking to you.
He wasn't talking to you either. He was talking to everyone else.
Hang on, Sean. Hang on. What? Why, Hank? What's wrong?
Just too much sadness is here. Every time I look at everyone here, I just feel so bad. He kind of turns away from you and looks kind of out into the his orchard behind him.
Could I try and
Can I
play?
No, go ahead.
Can
Yes,
I try
please.
and play a song on ukulele to cheer him up? Just a couple notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to roll for it first.
Yeah, doing that. Plus the performance, that's going to be a 23.
Sweet.
Okay. What's your performance?
I will be playing the opening notes of KK Bubblegum.
Do 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 do.
Very good.
Yes.
Marlo.
Hank has a slight smile come across my face, and he says, "Oh, that reminds me of such a better time."
Marla pats Hank's arm and says, "You just tell dear old Marla all about it. No burdens here."
If I must, I certainly can. Hank tells you that he had been to the southern orchards where that decay has been recently. He says, "I'm afraid that all of the past is coming again. Our debt needs to be repaid, and I have nothing else to give."
What debt?
What do you mean our debt? Yeah.
No,
Yes, you can.
I fear for you if I tell you.
Don't worry, we're already involved. So go ahead and tell us everything that could help us.
If I must, please, this is the last time I want to tell this tale. I don't know if I can relive this story again.
You can write it down
He
if you'd
has,
like.
Sadness in his eyes. I never learned how to write.
Oh.
No,
Way to go, Marla.
Yeah, make him feel bad. He does tell you too, but he does seem sad as he tells this tale. So Hank retells his life in Lindcrest to you, mainly the second half of his life. He used to have a wife. Her name was Marnie. And with Marnie, he and Marnie had a son. His name was Christopher. While they were living in Lindcrest, they would frequently make trips to Dysteria, that's the kingdom, for a trip to the market to sell some wares, buy things that they needed, just general living the life of a small farmhand. So it's about a day's trip all the way over to that location. So on the trip, Hank and the young Christopher is maybe 6 or 7 years old, stopped at the side of the road to sleep for the night. It was a little bit too late and too dark. Hank was apparently awakened by a pack of snarling wolves surrounding their small campsite. When Hank looked over at Christopher's sleeping bag, the young boy was gone. One of the muzzles of the wolves was actually covered in blood. Hank concluded the worst. He looked for his son for months, but he could not find the trace of his son's body. When he came back to his home, he told Marnie the same story. After weeks and months of grieving, Marnie took her own life, and it left Hank to be alone in the last stages of his life. Retelling these tales to the people in the town, Doug felt incredibly sorry for Hank. Doug is the innkeeper. And Brian, when Brian showed up around the same time of Christopher's disappearance, Brian was actually a little bit skeptical of the story that Hank told. When Hank told the story to Brian, he felt that Hank could have been doing more to find his son, and that by waiting too long, that he eventually sacrificed his son to the wilds. He could have done more, but he didn't. So Hank feels like he's a bit of an outcast in this town, and that he has no real connection here since everyone he's loved has been gone and taken from him. And that's why he's sad.
Can we roll, or can I roll a perception check just to see, or if I feel like he's telling the truth?
Yeah, go ahead and
Does it really matter?
give me insight. Yeah, it's fine.
Insight. Okay.
You can all do this if you'd like.
Yeah. All right.
Oh boy.
3.
That's
Excellent.
Insight is wisdom, which is +2, 5.
Excellent.
I got
Anyone
a
else?
20, giving
14.
me 23.
Dang.
23.
14.
Wow. Nice rolls all over the board. So the Matt and John don't really pay attention to this story, but everyone else, specifically Charlotte and Marla, is that it?
Marla, yeah.
Marla. Charlotte and Mara do get the sense that he may not be telling the full story here. So he, as you press him for that and say more about these wolves, things like that, he keeps reiterating that same story, but something seems a little bit off. Like his words don't seem to be quite matching up with the emotion that he's expressing. So you do find some skepticism in what he is telling you. And as you're talking to him about this story, and and he's telling you about these wolves, and you're asking him more and more, his gaze consistently keeps looking at the south orchard. As he looks at that orchard full of decay, he seems to be more and more scared and afraid. But he sticks with his story of what's happening.
Now, dear, unburn yourself and tell us everything, because that has absolutely nothing to do with the debt or the orchards you keep looking at.
Yeah. You people and you adventurers keep coming here, and you keep wanting to take more and more from us. I've been nothing but nice to these people of this town. I've given them everything, literally everything. He stands up and starts to walk into his home. Please, if you want to do anything, just leave. He slams the door.
Oh.
Guys, we got to go look at this south orchard.
Yeah, we got to go look at this orchard and see what's going on.
Do we kill him first?
Charlotte.
I mean,
he is a rather weak person.
I was thinking of asking Charlotte to knock down the door so we can get more information, not kill him.
Hey, how about I knock down the door and you kill him? We're a team.
It's true. You guys have adventured together. But what if he's hiding more secrets?
That's true.
I wonder.
We're not going to learn secrets from a dead man.
Wait, Knifey McStab is wondering something.
I was wondering if I could do a stealth check and see if I could maybe like sneak in and take a look around his house to see if there's anything that we could use or any information.
Or maybe like an open window or something you can listen.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, give me a stealth check. See what you got.
17.
Okay. As Hank slams the door in front of you, and you guys start to talk about what to do, Knifey actually kind of roams around the side of the house. He does see an open window. Inside, you can see Hank is kind of sulking to himself in a chair. He looks sad, head in his hands, kind of crying. You notice that in the house, it's pretty well kept. As you do look in the backgrounds, you do see that he has kind of stocks and reserves of food. Seems to be well kept. It's a little bit strange since his whole what should we call it, orchard and like vegetable garden doesn't seem to be picked or taken care of. But he does have plenty of food in his own home, which seems a little strange since he hasn't done anything else. But you do get the sense that he is genuinely sad about what you have talked about, but nothing else seems to really stand out about his home.
I'm going to go back and tell the rest of the group that.
He's got a lot of shit in his house. Yeah, so
man's got a lot of
Charlotte.
food.
Yeah.
Charlotte, you're stealing apples. You go in there and steal a whole bunch of food.
Charlotte tries the doorknob, see if it's locked.
It is locked. If you want to knock or try to knock it down, you certainly can.
Listen, I'll kick it down. We need to get to the point here. Everybody seems to be sad and wallowing in their own stuff, but nobody wants to do anything about it. So, I mean, you want to
you kick the door down?
Somebody to do something about it?
Well, how much information are we going to get from Hank?
Well, he's not telling us all of it, so we need to get a little bit more.
We could try and intimidate him.
Try to press him more if you want.
Okay, I'm going to try and kick down the door and be assertive. I want to try and scare him.
You're going to give him a heart attack.
Give me a strength check to kick down the door.
Okay. Oh, my God. That is...
Tell me you break your foot.
3 plus 5. Oh, my God, 7.
John shatters his pelvis by kicking the door.
It's funny. So in terms of like D&D stuff, like you typically give a difficulty class like a DC to something, and so I gave the door a DC of 5, and I'm glad you made it. So you just barely break the door down. As you kick the door in, swings open. Hank looks up from his hands. and says like, "What do you want? What do you want?" And he looks a little afraid.
We want to help, but you need to give us more information.
Okay. Fine. Just please leave me be. If you really want to help, go to the south. Look at the orchard. Just be aware that you won't be alone there. You'll feel alone. You'll feel like no one's there, but someone is always watching. Someone is always waiting for you.
Now, was that
Let's go to this
far?
orchard.
So as we leave, I turn around and I flip him one of the golds that I got for kicking down his door, and I say, "Sorry about the door," and we walk out.
He does nothing to acknowledge the gold on his floor.
Yeah, because
Picks up the gold.
the door costs more than one
Charlotte
gold
takes
piece.
it.
Yeah, the Charlotte steals it.
Charlotte picks up the gold and pockets it.
Excellent.
Yeah, you would.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can leave Hank's house in disarray.
Let's go to this orchard.
Yeah, you've learned about his family and his crisis. You remember some of the issues with the other people in town. Doug was also really sad. Brian was telling you about Neve. There's other areas in town you can explore, but it seems like lots of people are pointing you to the south as the center of this decay, which Neve also tended to say was out of place and seemed to be worth investigating.
You guys want to go
To the
check
south.
out this orchard?
All right, let's go.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yep.
It is.
Sorry,
What's that?
You cut out a little bit.
I said, let's go see how moist the trees are.
Oh, quite. It is so hot and moist in the air right now. It's disgusting. Okay. So as you guys travel through Lindcrest heading south, you pass by Neve's house yet again. You see the elf's home fade into the distance as you continue onward. There is quite a few acres of land here. As you walk south through the acres of land, you do notice dozens, no hundreds of trees actually separate you from the houses that were behind you. After you walk a little bit of the ways in, you do get to a little enclosure that tends to be a little bit more clumped with these decaying trees. After a few more minutes of walking, you actually notice a small grove of trees directly in front of you. These groves seem to be well beyond death. They are surrounded by nothingness. So there's actually maybe 5 or 6 trees right in the middle of this long stretch of dead land with no other trees, nothing else there. It's almost as if this little center area has the only trees and nothing else is around them. So as you get closer to that, you kind of wait before you cross over to this second little area where all this death has kind of spread to the ground too. What did you guys think you wanted to do here?
Can I roll a perception check, see if anything weird is with us?
Yeah. If you guys all want to roll perception checks, you totally can. Or if you have anything else you want to do to try to investigate, that's fine.
Nat 20.
Dang, girl.
Oh, everything.
I got an unnat 20.
Okay.
Oh,
I got a 13.
Sorry.
5.
Sometimes the dice don't roll that well. It's okay.
I got a 20 as well.
You're getting them all out now. Wow, lots of 20s. So collectively as a group, you do notice that the trees in the middle, there's about 6 of them. They don't appear to be planted naturally. It looks like someone may have done something specific to plant them there as opposed to just throwing seeds or tilling them appropriately. They look like someone maybe purposefully somehow planted them there. All around the cluster of trees, the land has been so withered away that you don't think anything else will ever live there. As you notice too, that right at the edge of where the death and decaying of that ground is, on the other side where you currently still are, it is totally fine. Like the ground looks great. And then I think it was Charlotte. You rolled the nat 20.
No, not me.
Marla.
Oh, Marla did. Sorry. So you also notice that the perimeter has a very ominous sense. As you get closer to it, you feel like there's no reason why land should be killed this way. The ground there doesn't seem natural, and you just get a strong presence that it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Something feels very strange.
And I relay that to the group.
Can I take out my battle axe and start like chopping away at the ground around the dead trees and see if anything comes of it?
Yeah. So you draw your axe and you do you all want to walk in too to help her out, or what are you thinking about doing?
Before we do that, so we're outside on the perimeter right now, right?
Yeah, you're on the living side, if you will.
Okay, so I'm gonna just pick up a leaf or something from the ground that's alive, and I'm just gonna throw it across the perimeter and see what happens.
Okay. So you get a big clump of leaves, grass that's on the ground. You throw it over. It actually does cross over totally fine. It hits the ground over there and appears to be fine. There's no instant death or decay.
Okay, that's good.
Nice.
Okay, now get to it, Choppy.
Choppy. So if
There it is.
as you walk in to that little perimeter, you do instantly feel that coldness that you felt on the trees before. You now feel it in your body. Something feels colder, even though the sun is still setting. It's still out, and it was warm. You do feel that it has gotten cold. As you approach the trees, as you get closer to them, you do feel even more coldness coming from them, and you start chopping away at the tree itself, or you're at the dirt. What are you doing?
Just the dirt, just to see if there's anything around.
Yep. So you start chopping at the dirt. It's very dry. It's not moist at all. You chop away and start to dig in. You do get a few inches down, and it does seem to be fine. There's nothing out of the ordinary. It just seems like this dirt is totally dead. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check,
All of us or just Charlotte?
Charlotte.
What did you say, Arcana?
Yeah.
15.
15. So hang on. You're the fighter, right?
Yep.
So as you're hacking away here too, you have been traveling with your companions, and you do know of some magics that can maybe be held in a specific area. So you start to think perhaps there is a magical presence that is stopping this land from growing, but you're not quite sure what it is. But you do have a feeling it's probably coming from this cluster of trees in the middle. Everyone else that is still, are you exploring the area too? The rest of the party, or are you not in this zone?
I'm there as well.
Mhm.
I'm thinking I have I don't know if we can do this yet, but I have a spell for curing. I'm going to try and maybe if there's a way to cast a spell on one of the trees I have a cure. I believe it's.
But those trees are alive.
No, there's the dead ones on the outside, right? They said there was a patch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the cluster of like 5 or 6 in the middle that are like the dead ones before.
Yeah. So I have a spell called the Cure Wound spell, which is basically, but it have to be a creature, or can it be?
You can cast it on the tree if you want.
Just to see if I can put life into it, or if it's just dead. I don't know.
If you want to, you can certainly.
Sure. Okay, so what do I have to do?
Doesn't work. I'm chopping it down.
It's 1d8
typically you would-
plus 11.
Yeah. So if you want to roll your d8, let me know that number and see how much you try to kill this tree for.
So I got 5 plus 11, so 16.
Okay. So as you try to lay your hands on that tree and get a sense of a life back into it, you feel the life go from your hands into this tree, and you do see the tree start to bloom and blossom, kind of like as it goes up. It emanates from where your hand was touching that tree. As you step away to look at your magic in action, you notice after a few seconds, it starts to get sapped away. So very slowly, where it was life full of life, it starts to kind of encompass back into that sort of cold nothingness.
It was a good try.
Well, I wanted to see if it was beyond help.
It doesn't look like it's beyond help. It looks like
Okay.
something can bring this tree back.
Just since I think it was Doug who told us that they did come back last time.
Yes,
Mhm.
he did tell you that. They came back. All the land did come back.
Who wants to work on the trees?
All right. Jet, what is Elvish doing?
Elvish is just kind of playing his ukulele. Not really sure what to do other than like maybe inspire other people to do better stuff.
All right. So in terms of the location of this this clearing here, where is everybody right now?
I'm standing by Charlotte, watching her dig up the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So I am
I'm
over by
probably
the
at the
tree,
base
yeah.
of like the cluster of the 6 trees.
So everyone seems to be in the same place. Jet,
Yeah.
are you there
Yeah,
too?
that same area.
Okay. Can everyone give me a perception check?
Oh boy. 22.
19.
Ooh,
18.
Mm-hmm.
15.
Mm-hmm.
10.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, who was 10? Is that John or Matt?
Yeah.
John. Okay. So as you guys are investigating the tree and Jet's playing the ukulele, I'm sorry, Elvish is playing the ukulele. You notice that the ground, kind of where you had walked in, where that like line was of the life and death, if you will, the ground starts to rumble a little bit. As you also look where you came from, you notice that a fog is setting in, specifically in your area where you're located. It's harder for you to see the trees of life, if you will, that you just walked from. And then from the ground, you notice the ground is breaking, and out of them are some rather disgusting looking hands are coming out of that earth.
Oh, here we go.
As a few hands come out, you notice a few meters away, another set of hands come out, and then another, and another. As the hands push out of the ground, you see 4 deteriorating bodies also coming out of them. As they're far away from you, you notice that they've gotten up and they look like they are walking towards you. So
there's 4 of them?
There's 4 of these creatures that are on this perimeter where you just walked out of, or you walked into, I should say. And we're actually going to start a battle right now. So
yes.
Please give me initiative checks.
How do I do that?
It's going to be rolling a d20, and if you have any modifiers to your initiative right next to your armor class, you add that.
You got a 13.
No, give me one second. I got to open up this.
19.
Got a 20, not nat.
Rachel, you were 13?
Yep.
Kris was 20.
19.
John?
Wait, sorry, what is it? I say I rolled it. I got an 11 on the dice, and then
if you have an initiative modifier, it's above your hit points and AC and speed, right in the middle.
I do +3, so they're 14.
So, okay, give me one second.
So we're fighting in the fog.
The fog is setting in, yes.
Okay. I might have something for that.
Oh, is it a song? Please be a song. Please be a song.
Sorry, it's typed out.
Da-na-na-na.
Some battle music. Okay. Sorry, I had this all typed out and then it actually didn't save this orientation. I just want to get it set up so we're ready.
Take your time.
Okay, cool. So as these creatures have come out of the ground and they appear to be walking slowly towards you, you all get ready and draw your weapons. So they do appear to have some malicious intent in their eyes. So they're walking forward to you. Since in the world of D&D, we don't actually have we're not playing on a physical form right here. So we're gonna have to kind of play it in our mind a little bit. So as you're battling, imagine that you're in more of a, I don't know, elliptical sort of shape, like an ellipse. In the middle is a set of trees where you guys were hacking at the ground. And then all around those trees is where that fog is set in this kind of dead zone, if you will. It's maybe 60 feet, like circumference. So it's not too far. In terms of attacks, I believe all of your speed is 30. Yeah, if not 25. So
mine's 25, yeah.
Okay. So for that speed, just as long as anything isn't incredibly far away from you, you can pretty much reach it. So at this point, the zombies are pretty much 20 to 25 feet away from you. Because you're all at the center of those trees. So just keep that in mind as you're doing what you want to do. Remember that you have your movement. You don't have to use it all at once. You can split it up between movements and your one action. Typical actions are like spell casting, attacks. If you want to try to do something crazy, like I want to cut a tree, something like that usually be your action. But remember, you get one action and one move per turn. And then we'll go down the order of turns and we'll try to overcome this obstacle in your way. Cool, kind of make sense? Yeah.
Does drawing your weapon count as a move?
Technically it does, but I'm going to say you've all drawn your weapons because you were alerted to their presence.
Okay.
Got it.
Great. Okay, the first player, since they're going to go in terms of initiative, is Kris.
Alrighty. I'm going to see like the zombies. Is that what we're calling them?
Pretty much. They look like zombies.
Okay. I'm going to load up my light crossbow and attack, I don't know, zombie number 1.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. They're all kind of in a row right now, so you'll attack one of them. Go ahead and roll for your attack.
I got 23 to hit.
That hits.
All right, and where's my D8? D8, where are you? Here it is. And 5 points of damage.
5, okay. So one of the zombies, you used a crossbow, you said?
Right.
Okay, so you load up your crossbow, shoot it at the first zombie that you see. It goes directly into the zombie's left shoulder, that bolt. So it sticks in him and he sort of grunts as he's pushed back just a little bit, but sort of starts to continue walking forward. Seems to be a little unfazed by this massive bolt in its shoulder.
And also, I'm a war priest, so I can do a weapon attack as a bonus action. Can I do another attack?
Is it a basic weapon attack?
It just says one weapon attack is bonus.
Yeah, it is. It just, you can't, like, you're just going to be doing a basic attack with a weapon. You can't do like, I'm going to do this spell or anything else. It's just a basic.
Okay,
attack.
so
But
like,
yes, you totally can.
Can I try shooting it again with the crossbow?
Yeah.
So, Mara, before you do that, everything I know about zombies, aim for the head if you can.
Yes. All right. And that one was a 12 to hit. Does that hit?
That still hits. Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
And 6 damage that time.
Okay. Were you aiming at any specific location?
Yes, the head.
The head? And I'm assuming you're tagging the same one?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So as you see him reel back from that first shot in the shoulder, you try to take a more precise aim towards its head. You shoot it, and you just kind of miss its head, but you kind of get right below its neck in the middle of its chest. Another stumble back. So this zombie is a little bit further back than the other ones because they are still approaching forward. But he's still standing, still shambling, still looks really gross and decaying. But that's good. So that was your action and your bonus action. You only get one of each of those unless something really specific happens. And so you still have a move. So if you want to move, you can, or you can end your turn there. It's up to you.
I'll end my turn there.
Okay. Next in line is Matt.
So I am going to, well, I'll attack with my rapier.
All right. So you're not.
Just jump in.
Yet, so
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, and say that I look over and I say, "Hey, McStab, you think you can stab your way out of this one?"
You can. Yes, you've said that to him.
All right, continue.
Hey, I look back at him and I go, I always do.
You draw a rapier and run forward. All right, so you're not close enough yet. So do you want to approach forward to these zombies?
Yes.
Okay. They're a little spaced out, so one of them is pushed back from the bolts that it took earlier. Do you want to try to approach that one, or do you want to try to grab the other two? Running to the one that got damaged before, you'd likely be running past 2 other ones, so it might be a little challenging to get past them.
Can I go? No, I'll go to whichever one is nearest me.
Okay, sure. So that zombie has not been affected just yet, so you're going to run forward and try to attack him. So go ahead and give me your attack roll for your rapier.
So 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. So then you're going to go ahead and roll your attack dice.
6.
6 damage. Okay. You're not knifing McStab, you're poking McPoke. All right, so you run forward, draw your rapier as you go, and you try to lunge into the zombie as closest to you. You get your rapier and pierce it directly into the zombie's chest. The zombie kind of gets a little taken aback and looks at you as you withdraw your sword from its chest, and kind of gives you this weird zombie-like grin as he continues to press forward. But you have done damage to him, so that's good. But he is kind of still right next to you, ready to go. Do you have any bonus actions? I don't know if you do, but that might be your turn for right now.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. So that zombie is being engaged by Knifey McStab. Next person is Jet. That's a great question. It's not terrible right now, but the fog did set in really, really quickly. So you're okay right now.
Right now.
Right now. Okay. Let me look it up too. So cantrips are spells that you can use like whenever. You don't have to have a spell reserve slot for them. So it looks like it's an action. You unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments at a creature you can see within range. If the target can hear you, which it can, it doesn't need to understand you, which is good because it doesn't. It must succeed a save, or else it takes psychic damage. And then it also has disadvantage on the next roll. So yeah, if you want to mock that zombie, you go right ahead. You can attack any one of them. You don't actually. So the spell, I need to beat your spell saving throw or your spell saving modifier, which should be on your 3rd page. It's typically 8 plus your whatever the key thing is for Bard. I'm assuming it's probably charisma or wisdom. Because yours is 6, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Which are you focusing on? A specific one of them? Okay.
The one that
the one that took some bolts.
yeah, Marla is engaged with. Yeah.
Oh,
was
hold
it?
on. The chat can't hear me. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so rewind. I asked Jason if the fog was bad, and actually they heard Jason say it. I asked if the fog was bad. He says it's not yet. I said I would like to use my vicious mockery spell, so I'm going to yell at the zombies, and I have a vocal performance for that as well.
Oh gosh.
Prepare for
Excellent.
this.
I would expect nothing less.
Okay. So do I do that first, or you got to roll?
I rolled, but you still give me your performance.
Okay.
I'm not going to deny people of this.
Hey, you zombie jerk, you can't stand a chance against us group of heroes. We're going to stab you in the face and fill you with arrows, and there's nothing you can do about it. Wahahaha.
Excellent.
God, this is amazing.
Excellent.
Okay, so you hurl insults at the zombie that took some bolts to the chest and shoulder. It appears to be a little unfazed by your words. It actually looks directly at you, and it rips out the bolt that was in its chest and goes to the ground as it continues to walk forward.
Oh no.
So in terms of like what happened there, so you kind of understand, like I roll for the zombie. He actually has stats too, like you guys would, and my roll for that zombie actually was greater than your spell save, so he resisted that spell. So sometimes that happens for sure, but sometimes the spell will maybe have a on failure effect. It still does something. It looks like this spell doesn't. So typically, if there's a failure or something like that, the GM might decide what happens. Like let's just say, for example, now the zombie's focused on you, so he might be attacking you next. So there's usually consequences for what happens. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Honestly, what happened was the zombie just rolled really high.
Yeah.
But that in terms of how you play D&D, that's what happened in that transaction. So your attack was successful in that it went off. It's just that the zombie resisted it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So that would be your action for right now. I think it was amazing, and you should keep doing them. But since your action is done, you still have a move. If you'd like to move away, you certainly can.
Yes, I would like to move further away from the conflict.
Okay. Since you're kind of in the middle of this little circle that you're in, did you want to just move further back, kind of behind the trees and away?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. You can move up to your 30, so you can basically get to the opposite edge of where you are right now.
Okay. Let's do that.
You do that. Next person I have on the agenda is John.
Okay, so I have a hunting trap in my bag. I don't know if I could use that.
A hunting trap? I think that's like a bear trap.
Okay.
But I mean, you can, I guess.
I just figured I could drop it down if they're walking towards us. They're kind of zombies. They're not going to understand, and they'll get one of them at least. They'll get caught in the trap.
I was hoping you'd just throw it at them. Just smack them.
Like,
screw it. I'm throwing the hunting trap at it.
Yeah.
I'm loading it, and I'm going to throw it at him.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check. So roll your d20 and add your strength modifier.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like one. And he goes to throw it, his arm breaks.
Oh, it does say the hunting trap is 25 pounds, so it is quite heavy.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's a 9.
Okay. Grab your d6 and roll your d6. Tell me what you got.
4.
The rate. 4.
That's
Gotcha.
not
So
bad.
you can accurately throw that up to 20 feet.
Yes.
So they're about 25 feet away from you. One of them is further back. So you can throw it up right towards the feet of one of them if you like.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you go ahead and do that. You throw your hunting trap. It's on the ground, sprayed out, ready to snare one of the zombies. Seems to be the zombie doesn't really notice or probably care that it's there, but it is right in front of its feet. And as it moves forward, it's likely going to be stepping into that trap.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so that will account for your action for this turn because that was a pretty significant thing to do.
Yep.
So do you want to move? Do you want to stay where you are?
How far am I? I'm 20 feet, you said?
About
the zone?
25-ish.
I'll stay where I am. Stay where I am. That's good.
Okay. Great.
I want to see it happen.
See it happen. Okay, so the next one I have here are actually the zombies that are here. So we'll start in order. The zombie 1, that's the one that took some damage from the 2 bolts. His eyes are actually fixated on Jet. Jet's a little far away though. So he's going to actually move forward about 20-ish, 30 feet. He's going to be very close to you. I would say if you guys are by the tree, he's pretty much right in front of you. The second zombie, that's the one that I believe took some damage from the rapier. He's actually going to be engaged with, that was John or Matt?
No,
That
Matt, knifey. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Knifey. So Knifey, you are going to be battling this zombie that's here. So he is going to try to attack you. Let's see. Oh man. Okay, so does a 16 hit? So that
My
would be
armor
against
class
your
is a
AC.
16.
Okay, so in D&D, you have to meet to beat. So as long as you meet that number, you succeed.
Okay.
So that zombie will be hitting you. So you're going to be taking some damage. Sorry, buddy, you're taking 3 damage. As the zombie is kind of engaged in you, he's kind of like holding onto your arms. He's sort of battering your, I don't know, body as he's trying to get hit through you. But you do take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Cool. That was zombie number 2. So the third zombie is also going to move forward. Let's see here. Oh, excellent. Okay, so this third zombie was the one that was in the trap. So the trap actually snares the zombie immediately as he walks into it. So yeah, it springs up, gets him right in the leg. You do see some sort of like dust and dirt fly off of the zombie's leg as it's trapped in there, and it lets out a small little unearthly howl as it begs for damage there. And the zombie will take some damage. So he's going to be hurt, and he's going to be snared in the trap. So he's not moving any step forward. Fourth zombie also moves forward. He is, oh, sorry, that's not right. Fourth zombie seems to be unaffected by his companion sitting right next to him in this trap, but walks directly forward. And everyone is by the tree except Jet, right? Oh, and then I guess also not John, or not Matt.
Yeah, he's
I'm attacking a zombie. So
Yeah, so it's Kris and Rachel, and yeah, right. Let's see. All right, Kris, you're the lucky winner. So this zombie is going to be actually right next to you. So he's not attacking you yet, but there's a zombie directly in front of your face, just so you know. And then last but not least is going to be Rachel for this turn.
Okay, I am going to rush one of them that hasn't been hurt yet with my battle axe.
Okay,
Nice.
The closest one is actually the one that's right next to Kris. So that's also really close to you.
Okay,
Okay. What you got?
which one did I do? Wait,
Battle axe?
count. 24.
That's definitely a hit. How much damage are we looking at?
10.
Wow, a lot of
Yes.
damage. Dang. All right, so this guy. All right, so as this zombie gets close to you and is staring you close in the eye, you run from behind and sort of slash at it with this massive axe that you're carrying directly into the zombie's neck. It digs in several inches. You do notice that like no blood really comes out of this zombie, but a large like puffs of dirt and decay kind of fly off of him as he kind of wails and otherworldly scream as this axe is in his chest. Hey, you okay? Oh, hang on. Laura's moving past us. 1 sec. Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
It's off. I have to turn off the camera so that we can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when John
Okay,
came back,
maybe-
it completely broke the layout, so I had to disable
Ah,
all
sorry,
the names.
dude.
It's okay. It's okay. Lesson learned.
I don't know what
for
happened.
me.
I don't know what happened.
We'll take a break in a minute. We might need to take a break to get some tea and coffee. So let's finish this battle
Ooh.
up and see what we can do if you guys live. All right, so that zombie is feeling pretty bad with this huge chunk out of its side. So as this has engaged, the zombies are all taking some damage here. You notice that that fog that set in is actually getting a bit thicker, noticeably
no.
thicker now. So how you couldn't quite see those trees before that you came from earlier, they're even further from you. You can't quite make them out. But that brings us back to the top of our order for turns. So we are back to Kris.
All right, but I still have the zombie still right in front of my face.
Right in front of your face, it took a battle axe to the neck.
Okay, and I will actually switch my light crossbow for my mace.
Mhm.
And if I miss, that'll be really sad. I don't miss. Okay.
Don't hit Rachel.
21 hits, yes.
Yeah. And 4 damage.
Okay.
That's it.
So as the zombie is kind of reeling in pain from that battle axe that came a bit earlier, this Morning Star, is that what you used? What was it?
I think it was just a battle axe that I used a mace.
A mace, gotcha. So as it's reeling from this battle axe, a morning star or mace comes in and kind of catches the zombie off guard too, smacking him right in the head. You do notice a little bit of the remaining gray matter of that brain kind of spews out. Let's say some of it gets on you. So
Gross.
a good amount of this zombie nastiness has now sprayed onto your body. It just feels gooey and warm. But that zombie is taking. Oh, absolutely, it's moist. Like disturbingly moist. So it's still sitting there snarling as a part of its head has been bashed in, and it's still kind of right next to you. But yeah, it's not dead yet. So you are still engaged with this zombie. You can attempt to move away if you want. Just be aware that that zombie is there, and it'll probably try to slash at you if you leave.
And we're there. Why not?
Okay, you're gonna stay put.
Yeah, I'll stay put.
Okay. Next up is Matt.
All right, so I will attack with my rapier again, aiming at the head.
Okay. Go ahead and go do your attack roll.
Oh boy. That's a 14.
14 hits.
Yeah. And
come on, max damage.
6.
Okay, not bad. So after you pull your rapier out of that zombie's chest, you start to try to aim right for its head. You notice that its sunken eye sockets are right in front of you, so you stab it right through its eye.
Nice.
Pierces through the back, and as the zombie kind of leans back in a little bit of a scream, it looks back at you with this now small gaping hole in its head, and it snarls its like nasty teeth as it looks right at you. But it's still standing, still kind of engaged in that battle, but you've done a lot of damage to it. Nice job, nice job. Do you want to continue moving away, try to get out of its clutches, stay engaged in battle? Typically with D&D, if you're kind of fighting something and you try to leave, it usually gets the basic attack on you to try to like keep you in its prey.
Yeah.
Right. I can imagine if you're just fighting someone and you like walked away to be like, well, what the fuck? So
I'm going to stay engaged.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Next person is Jet.
Okay.
Please be a song.
Hold on. Wait. Sorry. At some point, the order of the call got rejiggered again, which broke all the buttons. So
oh, no.
I'm relabeling everything. Okay. So let's see. Does this still show as me? Okay. Cool. So the fog is getting worse.
Yes. So I was actually going to pull up your sheet.
I have a cantrip called Dancing Lights, which lets me like form like candles that float around to help with the vision. That said, I think I need something to light stuff with to make that happen.
I mean, I suppose the earth around you is very, very dry. If you feel like you can maybe start some flint and start it, you certainly can.
Sure. Do I have to use an action to like pick up flint or anything off the ground, or?
No, you can do it all in one. So you can take your action to pick it up and try to light these candles.
Okay. Yes, I will pick stuff up and try and light them up.
Sure, light them up. Do you have to do anything for that or no? I don't think you actually have to roll.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, I think it just happens.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you pick up some of the I don't know, dead, dry, unmoist wood from the ground, and try to strike it with your rapier. So you get a little bit of a flame to come out of there. You do light these candles. How many candles are there?
I think it says I can do up to 4.
What is the name of the spell?
Dancing
Light?
Lights? I think it's Dancing Lights.
Yeah, it's up to 4 torch-sized lights within range.
Yep. Noise. Yeah, totally fine. So you can go ahead and do that. You're quite far away from the rest of the action here, so you can just barely make out the outline of the rest of your team by those trees.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to throw those lights?
They
just hover.
I would like to launch them in the direction of the trees so that the rest of the team can better see around them.
Excellent. So let's say maybe in like some sort of square or diamond formation around the trees.
Yes.
Great. So you go ahead and do that. As your team is fighting these zombies, they notice from the back those lights come directly over their head, so they can much more clearly see these threats that are in front of them, which is pretty helpful because you couldn't quite make out the zombie that was trapped in that snare. But now you can clearly see them. So nice job, Bard. Do you have to sing a song for that?
Yes, please.
Yes.
This is the prep that we need.
The lights shine on thee. Fight, fight, fight. Strike the zombies with iron swords. Cut their heads off. Stabby, stabby, stabby.
I love it. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Marla is delighted.
Wonderful.
It's as close to fighting a battle with T-Pain as we'll ever get.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not even on a boat.
So your move there with the lights does make it easier to see, which is definitely helpful. So well done. Well done. You are outside or right on the edge of that that kind of barrier. Did you want to keep moving? Did you want to do anything else?
I'll move back towards the trees to be closer to the group.
Okay. Do you kind of want to like hide behind the trees or kind of get back up front? What are you thinking?
Like just behind the trees.
Okay, cool. Kind of take a little bit of cover behind the trees. It sounds good. And then our next person going here is John.
Okay, so I have short swords. I have 2 of them. I'm wondering if I could, like, take them in that sort of cross pattern. And because I'm so close to Marla, I'm going to just like scissor the head off that zombie right in front of her so that he doesn't get her on the next turn.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and try to do that. Just do a basic, do an athletics check. See if you can handle that.
Athletics check.
Remember, you barely kicked down a door earlier.
That's true. That's what I'm thinking
learning
too.
as I go. I'm learning as I go.
He's getting his bad rolls out early.
True.
Barely kicked down a door.
You mean acrobatics? Oh no, athletics. Sorry,
athletics
strength.
should be that.
So that's going to be 10 plus 2, 12.
Wow, god dang it. Yeah, 12 actually hits.
Yes.
So go ahead and what's the damage for the sword? It's a D8, D6.
1d6 plus 2.
Roll 2d6 plus 2.
Okay. 4, and the other one is 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess total, right? For both.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're gonna do it together.
Yeah.
Okay, so this zombie that was attacking our group there already had a lot of damage on its head. So
that's why
B.A. Baracus comes up with his 2 swords and 300s it and does slice its head off. So as the head topples to the floor, the zombie does fall as well.
First kill, boys. First kill.
So that one has fallen to the ground. It's currently motionless.
Yes.
Great. Anything else from BA or Bob?
Is there any other immediate harm in our area?
There's one that's close, but it hasn't quite engaged just yet. So I believe it's the one that took the things to the chest. The bolts.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see.
Got to protect my girls.
There you go. Wow. And this one. Okay, and this one.
Although if I died, Charlotte would probably rob my body of everything anyway. So.
Oh, absolutely. Roll to see what you get. Okay, so that zombie that was a little far away, that has the bolts in its chest, is going to approach forward, and he actually sees. I'm trying to think of your names. He sees BA, and so he's going to try to actually lunge at BA, leaving his companion to fight Knifey McStab in the back. So BA, what is your AC?
It's 13.
13. Nice. So as this other zombie gets close to you, seeing his fallen brethren, he walks up next to you and tries to sort of gnaw at you, like hold onto your shoulder and try to gnaw at your neck a little bit. But you kind of see him coming in, so you're able to put your arm up, shove him away, and just say, "Not today, zombie." You push him away, so he stumbles back. Doesn't quite get you on that one. The other zombie is currently engaged with Knifey and is kind of in a grappling stance with a huge hole in its head, but he still smells the taste of blood, and he's trying to attack you as well. So Knifey, what is your AC?
16.
16?
Yep.
Okay. This is kind of funny. Let's see what happens here. Great. So as he...
Funny for who?
Funny for me. It's great. Well, because he rolled really high against you and no one else, which is really great. So as he's kind of engaging here, he feels really personally attacked by you stabbing him in the eye. So wow. He lunges at your throat, but only kind of gets the shoulder. He does do 4 damage to you as he tries to bite out a piece of your flesh.
Ouch.
Sorry, buddy.
In dire straits here.
Yeah, I know. He's a lucky zombie. Okay, so the other zombie is going to kick free from that snare, and then he isn't going to do anything else though. He's just going to kick free, so he is no longer snared, but he's going to stay in his location. So he's going to stay back. He's still about 20 feet away from you guys.
You bought us some time there, John.
Yeah, no, it works. Next person is Rachel.
I'll go after the guy who's tangoing with Knifey with my battle axe.
I approve.
That a girl.
Get him.
That a girl. What you got? 10? 10 does not hit. So as you approach him with the battle axe, you try to swing, but the somehow versatile zombie ducks out of the way, able to dodge the blow from your axe. But you are close to him, so you can help your partner in battle. All right, so as that wraps up, this fog that has been lightened because of these candles actually doesn't set in any denser. So the fog kind of stays where it is, so you can continue seeing as you normally would. We're going to bring it at the top of the order, so Kris, you're going again.
Okay, so all right, so the one that was right in front of me is now beheaded and dead, right?
Courtesy of yours truly.
Yes, thank you very much. So is there any other zombie like within, like, can I reach out and touch any of the nearby zombies?
Yes, there's one right by me.
Yes, there should be one. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to use inflict wounds. All right, and it says make a melee spell attack against the creature. So is that I roll a d20 and do my spell casting ability?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, 14.
14. What round? Yes, that hits. That hits.
Okay. So they take 3d10 necrotic damage. So hang on.
Okay.
Let me find out my d10s.
You find all my d10s.
That's what I get. You eventually get so many dice, I guess, right? Like,
it's fun to roll them all at the same time. 18, hot diggity. Okay, so this zombie, what happens in your spell? Do you want to describe what happens?
She just kind of reaches out, invokes Nike, the goddess of war, and just is like, die.
Die. Gotcha.
do it.
As he reaches out and invokes the god, something divine comes over that zombie and he bursts into pain. The zombie crumbles to the floor, kind of motionless, as it also lays down. There's still a bolt in its shoulder as well, but it's also motionless. Nicely done.
Perfect.
That was Kris, right?
Right.
All right. Matt's next.
I like that spell.
Yeah, that's a great spell. 3d10 is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Matt?
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. So I also have sneak attack, but I can't use that now, right? Because I'm not sneaking.
You're not quite sneaking with that zombie that's currently grappling you.
Right. But it says that I have something called cunning action, which means I can take an extra bonus action and I can use it to do something called hide. Would that enable me to do a sneak attack?
So since you're currently engaged in that with that creature, you can disengage with him as an action, and then your second action for your bonus could be to like hide like that for cunning action. So what you would try to do is essentially have the zombie lose sight of you so it can't see you. You can do that. If you wanted to do that right now, you wouldn't be able to attack that zombie, but then on your next turn you would be hidden and you could try to sneak attack them.
but if he did leave or de-aggro or whatever, he's going to get hit by that target, right?
So that's a good question. If you want to use your movement to just leave, then yeah, you're kind of like just running away from him. But another action you can take is a disengage action where you sort of protective yourself back away from that attack. So that will be your action. I mean, you can't attack that turn, but you can do that. You can then move and get away safely, and then you can also use your bonus action to do cunning.
I'm just wondering. I've done, I think, a fair bit of damage to this guy already. I'm just wondering if I can maybe finish him off, and then I can. You know what? I'm going to attack again with my rapier.
Totally fine.
So let's go again. Oh, or maybe I'm not. It's 10.
10 hits. So
thank God. Okay, and damage is 4.
Okay. Gotcha. As you look at the zombie in front of you with a hole in its eye, soul in its chest, you decide maybe we need to try something else here. So you grab your rapier, stab it directly through the zombie's neck as it's reeling back to bite you one last time. As you pull your rapier out of the zombie's neck, it does fall to the ground. So it is laying at your feet at this moment.
Yes. Nice.
Since you are currently not engaged with that zombie right now, if you want to move away, you can. You can also use your action to hide, that cunning one, if you want. There is still one zombie that was in that snare from earlier.
Matt, don't go too far away.
I'm gonna hide.
You're leaving Jet with just his guitar.
No, carry on.
It's okay. So there is a good amount of fog still around you, but you can see with the lights that Jet has cast, or Elvish has cast, I should say. But you kind of get maybe a little bit behind a zombie, so it can't really see you, and you are successfully hidden from that zombie. Next person that's going to go is Jet. And I believe you are also right next to the zombie.
Okay, so there's a zombie directly in front of me.
Yeah, it's close to you.
Darn. I wanted to try and heal Matt, but if there's something that's possibly going to hurt me, then maybe I should.
I mean, I think you can probably get away from that zombie and then try to still heal Matt if you want.
Okay, so
disengage?
No, I think you'll be okay, since I don't know if that zombie was specifically attacking anybody. Since he just actually freed himself from that snare, I think you're good to move around.
Okay, I would like to move to wait, hold on. How far? I have the spell Healing Word, and its range is 60 feet.
Yeah, the whole thing is 60 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see him. The fog isn't impeding you all that much, so you should be okay.
I would like to do that. So how do I do that thing?
Healing Word is what it is?
Yes.
Should be pretty basic roll just to heal him.
Basic.
So you're going to roll a 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier, which for you is wisdom? I don't remember.
I have the number 14 on my sheet. I don't know if that's too high or too low.
Then it's probably charisma. No, that should be fine. So that's your save. So I believe it's probably 6. So maybe it is charisma. But I would go ahead and roll a d4 and then add 6 to it, and that's how much I believe you're saying Matt will heal.
Okay. 2.
Okay, so then plus so 8. So you'll heal 8 hit points.
Oh my God. Amazing.
You cannot go above your total max hit points. So if you do go above, you just sit at your max.
I'm back at max. So thank you, Elvish.
No problem.
Do you I don't know, do you want to sing a healing word or something?
Please sing something.
This is the theme of this campaign, is Jet sings.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Heal up, my good friend, with light from the gods. It touches your soul and all over your hot bod.
And it did. It did. He feels great.
There it is.
Wow.
Actually, I don't know what was better, the actual healing or the song.
Yes. The spiritual healing of the song really affected the whole group.
That's the one.
This is great. All right, wonderful. Nicely done. Our next person is actually going to be John. There's only one zombie left. He's a few feet away from the entire group. He was snared earlier.
So I'm gonna use my longbow.
Okay.
So now that's my attack bonus is +5. So that's a D20. No, sorry, that's a D20, and then it's +5.
Mm-hmm. To see if you hit the creature. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, so that's a 8, 9, 11, 13.
Yes, that is a hit.
Okay, and 1d8 plus 3 is 7, 10 for damage.
Boy. Okay. So even through this foggy mist that's all in front of you, you're able to draw your longbow and shoot directly at this zombie that was stumbled back from that trap that you laid earlier. And it takes a shot right to the heart, or what was left of the heart of it. It does kind of step back a little bit, but it looks incredibly weakened, but it is still approaching you forward. So it is still there for you guys. Do you want to move or anything else?
No, I'll stay.
Cool. So that one zombie is very, very slowly going to be walking forward. It's carrying a small sword in its hand. Gets close to you guys too, but it's not going to be able to do anything. He's a little disheveled. So the last person to act is actually going to be Rachel.
Get him.
Okay, battle axe again.
Battle him.
Let's do it.
13.
Yes.
Nice.
Kill it.
15 damage.
Holy moly. That's quite a lot. Okay, do you want to describe your killing blow to this last standing zombie?
I hid for no reason.
Hey, it would be if you would have missed.
True.
No, Charlotte just grabs her battle axe with both hands and she just bum rushes it and just slices right through it.
Screams as you cut him in half. All right,
Yep.
yeah. Battle axe goes right through the zombie's. Let's say it splits him through the middle this way. So
Nice. And then he just goes like this. It just falls apart.
Exactly, it just falls apart in a very comical fashion.
And then from the background, I yell,
To hell with you, zombie!
Perfect. That's exactly what happens. So the zombie falls, split into two. Then you can breathe a little bit of a sigh that this threat seems to be gone for right now. Yeah, good job, team.
Yes, we survived.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You all rolled really well too. All right, cool. So those zombies have fallen. You guys catch your breath, look at each other, and feel a little surprised, like, wow, where did this come from? You guys lived. But you're kind of thinking back of what had happened before with all these dead trees and the decay. Zombies were decaying too. Something magical brings back zombies, so you're a little concerned. Yeah, any thoughts, questions, concerns right now that the group is thinking?
What do we do now? So these zombies are gone. Are there more? Or is this what's? I don't know. What do we do?
There might be more zombies underneath the other decaying trees.
Yeah, maybe we have to eliminate the rest of them.
Or maybe all of the decaying areas in town now have zombies in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thought. Yes. Okay, as you guys are kind of collecting your breath here, you do hear near this small cluster of trees that you're at, you do hear a sort of disembodied voice that does say, "Come in," in a very ominous way. As you hear this voice, the actual trees themselves, they're all in kind of a group. They part a little bit as they move. The ground before you shakes and crumbles. You do see a somewhat small and narrow passage that leads straight down. You cannot see the bottom, but you do constantly hear in your head this voice just saying, "Come in."
Well, I mean, we're being invited. It'd be rude not to go.
Absolutely.
Can I roll survival?
What do you want to do with that? I guess
I just want to know if I'm going to survive.
I
don't think it works like that, Johnny.
Damn it.
Go ahead and roll survival. Actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
All of us, or just him?
Just him.
I have 11 plus 2, and wisdom is plus 2, so 15.
Okay. So thinking about what this hole means now, you kind of peer down there. From the hold, you do still feel that gust of cold. So you already are cold. Remember, it feels even colder as you look down. You do not see the bottom, but you do think that the thickness of the earth that you're on, you could probably get down safely if you try to think of a way that you could actually successfully go down a giant hole.
Are there still parts of zombies around us?
There's severed heads and bodies.
Okay, so Marla picks up, I don't know, a head, uses her light cantrip to make it glow, and then chucks that down the stairs to see if she can see anything.
Nice.
Yeah, get him.
That's amazing. Okay, so as this glowing zombie head falls down this shaft, you do see it hit the side a few times, falls down. It does hit the bottom, so you can't really make out any features of what's at the bottom, but you do see it has ended. And around the zombie, it tends to have hit hard ground. You'd guess maybe 250 to 300 feet down.
Oh God!
Wow.
Okay, so but we can see it. We can see the depths of hell. That's good.
Yeah, it's dark down there, but you can make out the small light of the head that you enchanted.
Okay, there's the end, guys.
All right, so Charlotte starts going down the stairs.
Marla's right behind her.
There's actually no stairs. It's just a giant hole.
Oh, okay. So wait a second.
Yeah.
So BA pushes Charlotte down the hole.
You can just jump down if you want to try it and see.
Does anybody have rope?
Yeah.
We can say you all have rope. I'm sure you've all adventuring kit.
I have an explorer pack. What does that mean?
It comes with stuff in it. I believe it has rope in it too. Typically, you guys will start with like adventuring gear. I can tell you exactly what's in it though.
Where would I find that in the?
Either way,
it'll be under equipment. But yeah, you have bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, torches, rations, water skins, rope.
Rope. There you go.
So I'm just going to tie my rope to the nearest tree and throw it down the hole and just start climbing down.
Okay. Just FYI, your rope is only about 50 feet, but you guys can time. You guys can tie them together if you want to try to go all the way down.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
We'll do that.
Okay, great. Before you get too far down there. Okay,
Jason,
is everyone
did
getting?
you say you
Huh?
wanted to pause, or
Oh yeah.
I didn't know if this would be a good stopping
Yeah,
point.
probably.
It actually kind of is. Did we want to try to take a little break, or do we want to stop for the day and start again a different day? It's up to you guys.
Well, we're gonna have dinner soon. I didn't know if you wanted to.
Yeah. Maybe this might be a good like kind of stopping point.
To
We
be
can
continued.
Pick it up.
Continued. Bum bum
Yeah.
bum.
I am okay with stopping here too. It's actually a really nice place. In terms
I
of the
love it.
campaign, you're probably at or more than halfway through, so you're
Nice.
almost done.
Okay.
Excellent.
Oh, we're
And
so
just-
good at Dungeons and Dragons.
We are.
And
We're
as
pretty much
just-
the best at Dungeons and Dragons.
Pretty much. And just as a heads up, this campaign was meant to be like a one shot, so it will be over, but it is open to keep playing. So if you wanted to keep doing more with your characters, we absolutely can.
Cool.
I
Well,
just really
we're all fans
I
of
like it
adventure,
too.
so like we could even just take on a new adventure with our
Yeah,
same
do
characters.
it. Do it.
Yeah.
I
feel-
wrote so much stuff for y'all. It's okay.
I love it.
Randy
Randy.
replies.
Marla just needs to give out hugs.
Randy replies, "Ooh, I can't wait to come back to this in October."
Wow.
Perfect.
Worst
shots
friend
fired.
brother ever.
Uh,
No, we can play again totally.
oh yeah.
it was-
Well, now that we have it all figured out, like how
Yes.
to do it.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
easy, right? Right, Jen? It's easy, right?
Definitely easy. I feel like
I mean, I don't know about you, but all I did was sit down.
once we got into it, it got a bit easier for me too. It was a little bit more fun.
Okay, cool.
See, Jace, you were nervous, man. You were awesome.
I was.
I know
Well,
you're
thank you.
fantastic.
I appreciate it. Yeah, there's some of the funny things in D&D is all like the random curveballs you throw, and so I don't know why I didn't think that you would spend that much time in town. I thought you would have left, but it's okay.
I could
Everything
totally
was-
tell that. I could totally
Everything was
tell that
written.
from how you were responding.
yeah, just
It's
To
okay.
the
no, but, like,
south. To the south. South.
See, I wanted like if it was if we were doing like a more of an open campaign, I wouldn't direct you directly there. But thanks for taking the bait. But everything was open, and I was totally ready for you not to go there. And the only thing that I was actually really impressed was, well, you all did a really great job. Not gonna lie.
Thank you.
But the thing I was impressed was Jet casting that spell to stop that fog. So that was
Hey.
pretty
Yeah.
cool. Because if just to give you some perspective, if you hadn't, every turn it would have gotten progressively worse, and by the third turn, which is where you guys actually wound up defeating the enemies, you wouldn't be able to see anything.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you
Some of
basically
the elves, though, do you guys have dark vision though? Would that have
They do.
worked against
Yeah,
fog?
yeah.
Mhm.
They can. It's just they're probably gonna take disadvantage or negative rolls to what they would do. But yes, you're right. But the humans that don't have it, they wouldn't be able to see anything.
Ah.
Also, you guys rolled really well that you noticed the zombies in advance, because if you hadn't noticed them coming, they would have come up from the earth right below you and grabbed all of you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Well,
Good
they
job,
wouldn't have grabbed
Charlotte.
one of you, but yeah, you guys found it, so that was good.
love it.
But
Excellent.
there's still some more adventure to go. I feel like you guys got a lot of the role playing out of the way, and some of the battles too. So
No, but
I like
this
the
was
fact
great.
that we
That was so fun.
we're into it now. So now like
You're
this
invested.
no, but like this was like everybody was, well, not everybody, but a lot of us were new, and now we sort of, I understand that we can push it if we want to a little bit. It doesn't have to be very cookie cutter, right? Like where
yeah, exactly.
where Chris was like, I thought you were gonna throw that trap at him. It's like, yeah, wait,
yeah.
I want to throw
I
the
wanna do
trap
that,
at him.
totally.
Like, I never thought of that. Yeah.
I just want to have fun, and in terms of like pure mechanics, like theoretically, you really can't grab two swords and like do that, like
I
as
know.
the character you are. But let's just do it. Let's have some fun,
Yeah.
and it adds to the suspense. Also, Jet's singing was absolutely amazing. I appreciate
Oh
it.
my god,
Yeah.
the best.
Yes.
I expect those to be cut on YouTube within minutes.
All
Yeah,
over
you
your hot
realize you have to
bod.
sing now every time you do it.
I'm
right?
the bard of our team going
Yeah, you've
forward till
committed.
the end
Yeah.
of time. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Definitely committed. I would say in terms of what gameplay is left, I would say one more session of this length, you would likely be done.
Okay.
Okay,
Excellent.
So,
Yeah,
just
no.
FYI.
That's fair.
All right.
cool. Part 2
Yay.
coming up.
Yay!
Oh, that was so
And
fun.
we spent like half an hour talking and getting everything set up.
Yeah, and
Like,
we
next
started a
time-
half an hour
It's
late.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. All good.
That was awesome, Jake. Thank
That's
you so
awesome,
much, man.
guys.
Yeah,
Thanks, I
thank you,
appreciate it.
Jason. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, man.
John,
Thanks, guys.
Matt, Rachel, Chris, everybody,
continued.
everyone who watched us. Thank you for tuning in and enjoying. I know this wasn't maybe the most interactive stream, but I'm glad you guys all stuck around, and I
Yeah,
hope you
thanks.
enjoyed
Hopefully
the
it's
show.
entertaining.
I hope you
Yeah, I hope
enjoyed the
so, too.
show. Even if you're just here to get the points for the shiny Snorlax for next time, that's fine too.
You tell them, Jet.
Yeah.
Call him out. Call him out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
And also,
Okay.
with Charlotte around, everybody check your wallets.
Yeah, it's true. Everyone lost 10 gold pieces.
I have no gold
I
left.
didn't even have that.
See, there you go. We're all poor.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, nice job, guys. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So we'll
Yeah,
do
that
this
was
again. Generally, does this time slot work for you
Yes,
guys?
let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally fine.
All right. I will get back to you guys on that. The next couple of weekends might be kind of crazy, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully this month, fingers crossed. I know it took like years to get here, but now that we've done it, hopefully we can get this next part soon and possibly have this as a thing going forward.
Fine with me.
Definitely.
I'll try and pencil you in, Jed. I got a lot going on right now.
Well, you have a pencil now. You only had a pen earlier.
No. Touche.
Before we go, does anyone have anything they would like to plug or shout out? Anything going on? Matt, Jason,
too
John,
much.
Chris, Rachel?
No.
Nothing much at the moment.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. Been working on this for the past few weeks.
Okay, cool.
And it shows. That was awesome.
I hope so. Thanks.
Yeah.
Feedback is greatly appreciated. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll program in some more voices. I wish you guys could hear the air horn too, but I don't know how to
Aw.
do that. That's
We
sort
hear
of
it in our hearts.
yeah.
Just keep auto tuning and you'll be okay. Just auto tune yourself making the air horn noise.
Hold on, let's try that. Give me a second. I don't know how well that works.
Sounds kind of like Chewbacca, but that's okay.
Immediately, Chris was like,
Nah, face bomb. That's a clip you can do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Later level
job.
says thank you for the entertainment. Pete says thanks for the D&D goodness. Gaming Diary says thanks for the stream. So thank you all.
hey,
You're welcome all around.
You're all
Yay.
welcome. All right,
right.
cool.
Let's get out of here, guys.
Alrighty.
Thank you
Thanks,
everybody for
everybody.
tuning in.
Thanks,
I'll be
everybody.
back.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank you
guys.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks for
you,
playing.
Jason.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
This is
All
the most Canadian podcast ever.
Thanks.
Thank you. No, thank you. No, I thanked you first.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I am
Thank you.
eating some Tim Hortons still. I've been eating throughout the whole
Excellent.
stream. Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice. I'm about to take lunch right now, so it's good.
All right.
Awesome,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So.